Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
This episode.
Oh! I just noticed the banner are both my games.
I know, it feels good sometimes.
I know, it does.
Welcome
No,
to the
dude,
show.
bro. Oh, sorry.
This is episode 426 of 4Player Podcast, the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. My name is Nick Henderson. And Brad Simons is to my right, drinking a sweet tea from a Whataburger cup. Joining us this week as well is Jack.
This is Nolan.
Well, hey, how you doing? This is Jack.
Hello.
You all right?
Jack, thank you for filling in for Nolan. We always
hello,
love having you on the
everybody.
show.
Nolan doing Batman, I think.
Nolan.
I'm Batman.
This is Nolan.
And of course, Krispy,
Hey.
rounding out the cast tonight, and we're going to talk about video games.
Really?
Let's start talking about Soma. Let me tell you everything I learned about Soma last night.
What'd you learn about Soma?
That I hate PC gaming.
Okay, listen.
Moving.
No. Dude, check it out. Listen. This is, it's indie developed. It was day zero, and it was a sort of not a graphical showcase, but it wasn't exactly a pixely side scroller. You know what I mean?
And
No,
it's on-
I get it. I get it.
And,
the problem is,
and Nick's computer.
It was the V-Sync. I'm telling you that.
no,
that,
it froze. I tried it with the VSync on, with the VSync off.
that had to kill your.
So what
performance,
actually
though.
happened, Nick? What actually happened?
Well, the first thing that fucking happened within a minute of starting to play, my computer completely blue screened. Rebooted, came back up, adjusted some settings. There was the review code came with like a list of like recommended PC settings. I went through those, make sure all those were turned on and whatnot. I even turned down like textures a little bit and the shadows just to make sure in case there was some kind of performance issue, which I shouldn't be having because all of my components on my computer are well above the recommended or the minimum specs.
Sure, but sometimes
I know
when you're rolling everything max, it's like one little setting will cause
That's why I
an
turned
older card to run like
that's
shit.
why I turned a few things down. And the thing is, it doesn't even feel like a performance issue because before it froze, it was running fine, like super smooth. There wasn't like any graphical issues. It wasn't like getting hung up or anything before finally crashing. Like it was super silky smooth, and then just
Just go away.
no, it just froze. Like I couldn't move the mouse.
Oh.
You couldn't turn. Like you couldn't move the character. You couldn't look around. And after about 30 to 45 seconds, it just gone, and it had the little message that said, Soma.exe has quit.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
hilarious if it was some kind of like
so-
Metal Gear thing where it goes, please turn off your computer now.
And
You've been playing too long.
I'm hoping part of it is just that it's missing some kind of key component that is going to be patched in on day one.
Yeah, possibly.
Did you have an
because
update today on Steam?
I haven't even turned my computer on today.
I do know, I was talking about this before the show with Nick, and I do know that one of the reviews said that it seems to be a really great game so far, obviously, from all the reception it's been getting, but it has been kind of known to be marred with some technical issues. So.
Yeah, but this just feels like more severe than technical issues.
Well,
The thing is, like, other people were broadcasting it before because I got the review code while I was at work, so I obviously couldn't start it until after I got home, and like there were people broadcasting it earlier in the day without any trouble. So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I mean, the game itself is still like easily one of my most anticipated games of the year. So I'm actually going to be leaving the podcast a little early tonight. I'm going to rush home while you guys finish off the show. And as soon as y'all cut it here, I'll be ready to go. And I'm going to be playing a couple hours of Soma tonight on the feed. Because now I have the PS4 version with whatever day one patch is necessary. So shouldn't have any problems.
That's what their plan is. They give you the review code, and it's like, oh, it doesn't work. No, I guess I gotta buy the PS4 version. And then you end up throwing money at them anyway.
Yeah, it kind of
Oh.
sucks. Kind of
Just-
sucks.
They
But
got it
hey,
all
It's
figured
easy
out.
to be hard on PC gaming, but imagine if you're a developer and you're making a game for a PS4. It's just one PS4. Everybody's PS4 is the same. That's easy. When you're doing a PC game, like everybody has a different PC with different components. Not just that, but you got to take into account like, oh, they also have this installed and they have this old version of this.
you're literally illustrating why I don't like PC gaming.
What I'm saying is like
That is the component.
PC game development is remarkable.
Oh, sure it is. I'm not
and
trying to
on top of
discredit.
that though, Nick, like in defense of frictional games, there's nothing against you, but your
I'm not even
computer
trying-
has been known to
I'm not even
have some
trying
issues.
to
It
blame,
has in the past with
I'm not
streaming
trying to
and
blame
whatnot.
frictional. I'm not trying to discredit the accomplishment of the developers. I'm literally
blaming
just
PC
talking
gaming.
about the thing that has kept me from being really into PC gaming has been that roadblock, which is until you buy the game and install it and jump through a bunch of hoops, you don't know for sure that your computer is going to run it smoothly. Yeah. And you obviously you take a few graphical hits by playing console, but when it comes out,
there is always a gamble.
You boot it up and you go.
There's always a gamble, but there's also, along with that, there's also cheaper prices for the games, and I'm sure like even Brad must have taken advantage of a whole shit ton of sales and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
it's not just the sales. Like it's the games that aren't going to come to consoles. It's the emulation. I've done so much emulation, which has been great. And even you've been dabbled in that.
When I say I hate PC gaming, I'm not like saying I'm never going to play a PC game again.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I took away from it.
Also,
you shut your mouth.
You know what's also cool? Games on PC are kind of like wine. In subtle ways, you don't even realize it, but like NVIDIA, like you have an NVIDIA card, right? Like they're constantly putting out updates that are just, look at the update notes. They're like, oh, this game's going to run 33% better now. And these updates come out all the time, and you don't even realize it, but you could turn on a game like at launch and have it run like shit, and then like might turn it on like 2 months later, and all of a sudden it runs really great.
Yeah, constant updates.
That doesn't happen.
Just like wine.
That doesn't happen on PS4.
Okay, I'm also probably gonna be the minority here, but was anyone else not really terrified by Amnesia? Don't now. This is maybe a big can of worms or whatever, but I actually kind of preferred.
What are you saying?
I preferred Machine for Pigs over Dark Descent.
I played Machine for Pigs first.
Well, here's the reason why: is with Dark Descent, I was really getting into it, and then until I discovered it wasn't like a gameplay breaking glitch, but it was like an exploit, was that any time that monster would grab me and would kill me in 2 or 3 hits, which is fine, whatever, it would then disappear from that area, meaning that once I realized that, me not just running into a new area, getting hit by the thing, was just artificially making the game more harder for myself. And once I realized that, it took away all the kind of horror and suspense. And then on top of that,
so you would just seek out the monster and let him hit you?
I would just run up and be like, woo, and they would just run up and grab me, kill me, and then it'd be gone from that area.
You prefer Machine for Pigs?
I mean,
for this reason.
I played Machine for Pigs first.
British. There's a joke here somewhere.
Well, on top of that, just
a topical joke.
Exploiting the original game's gameplay mechanics took away basically the whole purpose of it being scary. And then on top of that, the story was dug right far down. I mean, obviously the gameplay and the suspense and everything else, that was the highlight. Whereas for Machine for Pigs, the narrative was the highlight. And it was actually one of the, I preferred that. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm still looking really forward to Soma. I don't expect to be scared by it, but I kind of at least hope to be unsettled.
Well, we'll see. That is yet to be seen. I think Soma has a lot of potential as far as being a horror game. But I did play Machine for Pigs first. And I do agree with you on everything you just said, because the emphasis definitely was different on Machine for Pigs. And for that aspect, I really, really enjoyed it. But there were certain things that Amnesia 1 did that were super creative as far as like the way they try and scare you, that Machine for Pigs didn't even come close to.
I just realized you're going to be playing Soma on PS4. I really hope you manage to get a PC version working, because when people come out with these custom missions and stuff, just like they did with Dark Descent, that shit's going to be crazy.
There's a lot of really cool custom.
I mean, I have it. I have the game, and once I'm sure there's probably a patch on the PC version today that'll make it.
You should do it. I'm surprised you guys haven't done like a Amnesia custom story stream night or something.
I don't know what it is.
They're actually really good.
I played a couple before.
Well, I tried. After I finished Amnesia: A Dark Descent, someone in chat had recommended, you should jump straight into I forgot what it's called. There's a custom story mission.
Mods or whatever.
Yeah,
Justine or something.
Yeah, Justine. And I couldn't find it. I didn't know where to look for it. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time, anyways. But like, my first reaction was, you don't go into the menu, and you don't look. It's not in Steam. I guess you have to download it from somewhere off the internet. And,
it's not like a Steam Workshop thing. Yeah.
So I mean, I would love to play those things, and now that I have Soma, it's probably going to be playable once they patch it. It probably was just a day zero thing that my computer was not agreeing with. I don't know.
We need to look at your computer again at some point.
Yeah, but the thing is,
he reformatted it.
I've done it. I've done everything.
When I was trying to play Tomb Raider, it was like it was crashing all the time.
I know.
And stuff.
And
you reformatted.
That was the first time when you came over to play Tomb Raider. That was the first time.
What are you saying?
You broke my computer. But that was the first time it had ever started crashing, and I did everything after that. Every time after that, playing System Shock 2 had happened, so we've eventually reformatted, and that didn't even fix it. And it turns out it had something to do with the codec. I switched to using a different codec when I was streaming, and no longer a problem. Anyways,
I fucking hate the codec.
that's neither here nor there. I see what you did there, Crispy.
Yeah, thank you.
Now's the part where I rabidly attack Krispy. Like a chimpanzee.
And actually, I changed my mind about the whole codec thing, so that's not even a discussion.
You flip-flopped.
Well, yeah.
He talked about it last week.
Yeah,
He
we
played
talked
Twin
about it last
Snakes.
week from Twin Snakes.
He warmed up to it again. But speaking of video games...
Because we haven't been talking about those.
Wait, what are we talking about right
Video games, go!
But like, no one really played
you just-
Soma. So
I
what
watched-
are we talking
I-
about?
I watched Goodnight Mommy.
Oh. I watched The Visit.
Those are movies.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I had gone
Which
to
is
The
better,
Visit.
Goodnight Mommy or The Visit?
I think Goodnight Mommy is a better movie. But I will never watch Goodnight Mommy again.
And I see why. And I completely understand why after watching
But
it.
The Visit was...
No, the greatest thing is, like, last week, Brad pitched this movie to me without obviously telling me anything, without trying to spoil it. And he didn't give anything away, and I had a very clear idea in my head of, like, what kind of movie it was. And I was like, oh, this movie looks fucked up. Like, I watched the trailer, I was like, this looks crazy. So Joel and Marissa recently got engaged, and they've been on a big movie kick, like a horror movie kick. So I was like, why don't we go out and watch a movie? Let's, celebrate. We'll go watch a horror movie. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go watch Goodnight Mommy. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And then at the very end of that movie, it shifts gears pretty unexpectedly, and I was really uncomfortable. Like, really uncomfortable.
The last movie that made me uncomfortable was the one where the thing's stalking the person. We were talking about it like
It
recently.
Follows.
It follows. Yeah. It
Oh,
follows.
yeah.
That unsettled
good
me.
movie.
Yeah, but this is like
Was this more like graphic kind of?
this is more of like
Like Audition.
yeah. I don't think
it's
they've
not
seen
like
the audition.
Audition.
I didn't know it was that kind of movie, and then I was like, and it becomes the kind of movie that a lot of people may not be comfortable with.
Yeah.
And it just got real uncomfortable.
It just got real
But it's kind of like if you went in to watch a movie. It's like if you went in to watch The Human Centipede, not knowing what the Human Centipede was about, and at the very end it hits you with what it means by the Human Centipede, and you're like, oh.
Everything is off though a little bit from the beginning of that movie. Like whose mom would let their kids have a bunch of pet giant hissing cockroaches? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, that was pretty fucked up.
They have a giant tank, like a snake tank.
Yeah.
But it's just filled
Like
with
a
hissing cockroaches.
terrarium.
Terrarium. Basically, what you would lay a person down into in Fear Factor, they had that just in their bedroom, and they would play with them, and the mom was just cool with it. Oh god!
So like bed, TV in the corner. There's a fucking bunch of cockroaches in the
Yes.
other corner. It's like,
It's just I would say it was a well-made movie. I'd still recommend it. It literally is like if you were to go into The Human Centipede completely blind and then find out midway through the movie what it's actually about.
I still need to try and convince my girlfriend to watch Human Centipede 3. I hear it's a
What do you mean
comedy.
You're still trying to convince. It sounds like you've been trying to do this for a
it's
long
like it's an on and off attempt. It's like
You know what?
a morbid curiosity.
Did you make her watch the first one?
We both watched I watched the first one before, and I watched it with her, and then we both watched the second one
That
again
wasn't
for
the
the
question,
first
Jack.
time.
Did you make her watch the first one?
It was on Netflix. It was either that or Zombievers, so we watched both.
Zombie. Zombievers is pretty good.
Zombievers is fucking excellent.
Oh my god! Well, I'm about to say, if you're having trouble getting her to watch,
Hey, watch Zombievers. It's on
Human
Netflix.
Centipede 3, maybe it's because she watched the Human Centipede 1 and 2.
No, it's gonna be one of those things. I'm just gonna be like, bam, here it is.
You know
I'm
what?
just
You
gonna
know
watch
how?
it.
Do you know? Okay, so I'll be honest. I watched the Human Centipede 2. You know how I did it? I got on Netflix. I started streaming it, and then I clicked the button to fast forward as many times as possible.
What?
And I watched the entirety of the movie in fast forward.
When I see a woman that jumps in a car, being chased by a fat Englishman, who then gives birth.
Wait, the man gives birth?
No. Yeah. Yes, Nick. And then the woman gives birth in the car. The fetus drops underneath the accelerator, and she slams on the accelerator to get away.
What
That
movie
way,
is this?
it was Human Centipede 2.
Well, I watched it. And
That was when the movie got a bit kind of weird
She
for
just
me.
popped it out, huh?
That's when it got weird for you.
But then I'm trying to convince Sam like the third one's a comedy. It's okay.
Is the third one?
Somehow she's
They're all
not too hot on the idea.
comedies. No.
Yeah, somehow she's not too hot on the idea.
Has anybody seen the first episode of Black Mirror?
No.
Okay, so Black Mirror is on Netflix, I think, still. You should watch it. It's good. It's like kind of like Twilight Zone-y, where every episode's different, kind of weird, off, but cool.
And now it's oddly topical.
I mean, it's just a good show, but you should definitely watch the first episode.
Okay.
All right.
This has nothing to do with British politics, does it?
Well, no, I mean, that first episode is about...
You mean you
I
guys?
mean, do you want to know the premise of the first episode of Black Mirror?
I think I've heard of it before.
I don't know what the premise of the entire
some
show
royalty daughter gets kidnapped, and they're like, "We're gonna kill her unless the prime minister fucks a pig on television in front of everyone."
No, hang on a second. No, in defense, in defense.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And like the whole episode is, well, that's ridiculous. That
could possibly happen.
How are we gonna get her back, guys? And we're like, we're working on it. We got some ideas.
But you should be ready to fuck
I mean,
a
that's
pig
kind of
just in case.
But like it starts off kind of like you know, as a
The
joke.
pig
Like,
fucker show.
obviously, I'm not gonna fuck a pig, and everyone's like, no.
Of course not.
But like as the episode goes on, it gets like more and more like,
Is this a comedy?
I'm not fucking a pig. No. Oh, it's not a comedy. There is nothing funny about what happens in that first episode of Black
I
Mirror.
can't stop laughing talking about this.
No. It's not funny.
The pig fucker show.
Well, everyone thinks it's funny.
Like it's like a dark comedy, just like emphasis.
No,
on
it's
the
just
dark.
cool, crazy, weird stories. I recommend that show because they're all good episodes.
Okay.
All right,
So
well, you sold me. I'm definitely gonna watch
Yeah.
this now,
Sorry if I spoiled that first episode a little bit, but yes, oddly topical.
dude. That sold the show for me. I've got to watch this now. Oh god, you're right. I am in for the pig fucking. Of course I am. I mean, what? Who is not morbidly curious about that show after hearing?
All of the world was morbidly
No.
curious.
See, I
actually.
never went to university over there. I've never been to university here. You guys have. Is it? I mean, I know you guys do hazing and
Yeah,
shit.
there's
but
a lot
like,
of
is
pig
it?
fucking.
We don't make people fuck pigs.
Well, no,
That's
it's probably
what
like a
I'm
fucking
saying.
longhorn or some shit. I don't know.
Fuck
Like,
yeah. I don't think Bevo would let
Not
you
a
anywhere
pig.
near him.
Jesus, that's disgusting.
That's
I mean, do you
disgusting.
guys
But
fuck
a
cows
longhorn,
or-
yeah, come on, bring him in.
Oh my god.
Outer
Nah,
limits,
just,
yeah.
just a lot of drugs.
All right, video games. Let's talk about
What
them.
did anyone actually play?
What did anyone actually
I
play?
played some
guess?
new stuff. Do you want to hear about it?
I guess.
Well, the first thing I played was I started playing the free DLC for Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is a game that I absolutely adore. It was on my top 10 list last year. Y'all know about Shovel Knight.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I played a little bit on the 3DS. I don't know what it is about that game. It's
Well, they are coming out with 3 DLCs. The first one is free, where basically you get to play as in their own story, but the levels are for the most part the same.
All right.
But you get to play as like various bosses from Shovel Knight. And the first one is Plague Knight, which is one of the bosses. And the thing is, this character plays completely different than
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight. Like it's an all new story. Obviously, I mean you're Plague Knight, and you're going through the game.
So there's
As this character, and the systems of this game are completely different than they were in Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight kind of plays like, I mean, you have your shovel. It kind of plays like Mega Man, like Castlevania meets DuckTales. I mean, you can kind of pogo on your shovel like Scrooge could in DuckTales. And it was a great fucking video game. Now you play as Plague Knight, who has these potions, and you get all kinds of alchemical ingredients, and it'll change what your potion bombs do. Like you throw these bombs, and while you're in the game, you kind of can pull up your menu and switch the ingredients, the bomb type, the fuse type, and it'll all change kind of the way, like what your bomb does, the trajectory, like special effects and stuff. So depending on the situation, you might, kind of change up those ingredients so it does something different. Like right now, I have like this special thing that's called like component powder or whatever, where if I if I throw 3 bombs into the same area, like it'll compound and make a bigger explosion. So that's like what I'm doing there. That's what's making that big explosion. Is
you have to throw 3 before they react.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's just one powder type. You can also like I change it to where they float up into the air, or you can change it to where they throw.
Is that a giant beetle?
That is a giant beetle. That's cool. Now this is a level from the original Shovel Knight, but everything in this game feels so different because.
It's way to fuck it up, Brad.
So this is the exact same layout and everything?
For the most part, yes.
Because I say this kind of that whole thing kind of reminds me of like when Sonic 3 and Knuckles came out. You could play Sonic 3 and then you could put in like another cartridge on top of it. Yeah. And you could play those same levels as Knuckles, and it would just be like a same level, just slightly different to adapt for it.
Yeah, I mean it's exactly like that. Like one of the cool things about the bombs is you have all these variations that you might get like a certain bomb type that might seem kind of useless at first, but then later on you might get a fuse that has like a long fuse, or one that you can detonate yourself, or like I had this there's like a sentry type, and then when you start mixing them together, you're like, actually this does have its uses. I just need to find like a really useful combination or whatnot. So that part is really cool and satisfying, and I like kind of messing around. Yeah, experimentation, which is good because he's kind of like a mad scientist.
Is this DLC only for the PC version, or is it also coming to 3DS and whatnot?
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Well, Orange Python asked. That wasn't really my question.
So the other weird thing about this game is you have a double jump, but it's a very tiny double jump. In Shovel Knight, was able to bounce off of enemies and stuff using a shovel. Well, in this one, you hold down like the button you use to like throw a bomb, and you create and then if you hold it down for a while, you explode. And that's sort of like your big jump, or like your triple jump, or your main double jump. So it's very. So I've been really struggling to kind of explain the feeling of playing this game, but the movement, like you can do a lot, but it's very chaotic. Like it's very, which suits the character because he's like this crazy mad scientist that fucks with these exploding potions, but controlling him, it's like controlling him well is like controlled chaos. Like you never have this precise control like you did with Shovel Knight or like Mega Man or something. You're like this. You're like a stick of dynamite. I don't know how to explain it other than to say that it feels like if you get really good at it, you can do some amazing shit that you could never do with Shovel Knight. Like you theoretically have way more mobility, right? Yeah. But you have to be able to control it to really make use of it. Otherwise, you're gonna die, and you're gonna die a lot. Because I mean, his main means of getting around is exploding himself, and he goes flying through the air. Like I have this upgrade on my character that every time I explode.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
oh my god. Okay.
See, the thing is, that would have never happened to me in Shovel Knight. I finished that game. I'm pretty good at it, but this is like, it feels like a completely different game because it just plays so different, which is cool.
Are all the DLC packs going to focus on different characters?
Yes, then they're all going to play way differently and have
That's pretty cool.
their own unique mechanics, which is very fucking cool. But I can't stress enough like how. So after I explode, I have this ability on it that alters it so I can slowly glide to the ground. But that's only if I have exploded myself. Otherwise, he falls like faster than Falco in Smash Brothers. It's like a super fast descent. So just being able to control that chaos is kind of half the challenge and the fun. I've been getting a little frustrated with it just because it takes a while to get used to, but I see the potential, and I kind of see why that's kind of interesting. Why?
Yeah.
It's not just that this character controls differently, but like he philosophically plays different. Like the design, like concept is just so different there that it is both the source of my frustration and
Also, this game looks really stressful.
Well,
Well, Shovel Knight was stressful.
What? No, but it's not though. Like Shovel Knight, I feel like it is sort of a throwback to old NES platformers, but it's nowhere near as difficult as something like a Mega Man or a Castlevania games from like back in those days. The checkpoints are fairly forgiving, and the bosses really aren't too difficult. And I feel the same way about this game so far. You know, and there's always a checkpoint like right before a boss. It's not. It's like I said, the only frustration lies in the fact that like I've done all this before with Shovel Knight, and it was way easier because I had a handle on how that character played. And here it's like it's like harnessing lightning in a bottle. Does that make any sense?
Not at all.
Okay.
Well, free DLC is rare, but good free DLC,
Yeah, no.
it's even rarer.
Yeah.
The other cool thing is there's like these challenge there's like I don't know how many there are, but there's a whole bunch of these challenge missions, and there you play as Shovel Knight, but they're kind of like puzzly and like tests of various abilities and tools and stuff, and it's pretty fun to go through those. I think that was new with the DLC because I definitely I'm about to switch over to it. I'll probably struggle here, but yeah, like in this one, you get around by just you can only pogo off objects, whatever. It's hard to describe, but the challenge mode's cool. This character seems cool.
What's the timetable on these DLCs? This is only the first DLC yet so far, right?
It's only the first one. I really have no idea when the next ones are going to come out, but if they're as cool as this one, I'll probably definitely throw down some money for them.
Well, they're free.
Not all of them.
Oh.
I think just this one's
So this
free.
is just to give people a taste.
Well, it's just to show you like, hey, this is what the kind of the plan is going forward, and it's a good one. You know, I don't know how much they're going to cost, but it seems worth it.
Yeah.
Refreshing. That's a good word. I don't know. I mean, it's a nice, refreshing twist on a game that I already love. I just want to get better at it and quickly.
Wonderful. What else we got?
Somebody else?
I played Mad Max.
Mad Max.
Yeah, I played a lot of Mad
More Mad Max.
I'm so pissed. I recorded about 30 minutes of Mad Max footage last night, and for whatever reason, the file when I stopped the recording was fucking corrupted or something.
That happened to me too the other day.
It was good footage too. I got some good shit in that footage. You're gonna have to believe me. So instead, I think we're gonna end up watching footage from last week. No, but I'll record some new footage for the
Early
actual
game.
YouTube video. Whatever.
Almost
Point
picked
is,
up that game for $20.
That's worth $20, I'd say.
It might
I'm
be.
enjoying the shit out of it, but I'm enjoying it for the exact same reason that I think a lot of people may not be enjoying it, in that this is straight up a Far Cry clone with cars. Like, I mean, with like Twisted Metal.
You say that,
combat
but like
in an open world.
part of what's so cool about Far Cry is it is more of the Metal Gear Solid 5 thing, where like you have a flexibility of engagement. Like you can choose how you handle different situations. You basically have different modes. You have different like
And you
gear
technically
layout
can in
and
this
stuff
game
like
up
that.
until the point when you actually enter like major strongholds.
Dude, no, like yeah, this game is all drive your car really fast, run it into other cars, and punch people in the face.
But you know, in any other game, like driving cars really fast and running into things would be looked at as a positive thing.
It is, and it's fine. But I'm saying like
And I fucking love that aspect.
So I guess what you're
of it.
saying,
telling
Nick,
people
is
that this is a Far Cry clone is like deceptive.
Well, I mean, in terms of the way its world structure and like it's the way it ropes you into accomplishing its objectives or progressing your
Yeah.
character in the game, which is basically like in Far Cry you have all these different strongholds or whatever you want to call them scattered around a large open space. You're upgrading your weapons. You're upgrading your
traversing around the world is fun because of the cars, or
I mean, I've played the game for like 20 hours, and I'll probably spend a good 15 of those hours just like taking back strongholds and trying to find scrap so I can update my fucking car and doing races and just all kinds of shit.
See, half the thing with these, like Far Cry or whatever, you spend most of your time traveling. So when that traveling is good, which
Well,
I'm
the thing is
guessing,
that
Nick, you say it is.
That would be the highlight here, because I didn't find traveling in Far Cry nearly as fun as I find it in this game, because when you're like you spend about 90% of this game traveling because you're in your car.
Right, but you're being chased and stuff too, right?
You're being chased,
That happens, yeah.
and
So it sounds like it has lots of good moments.
and Jesus Christ,
It
like,
does. It is very much like running around the world going from one cool moment to the next,
Yeah.
you know? And sometimes, like, I don't know, I've hit stretches where that's, like, kind of few and far between.
You know,
I've gotten locked into doing things like the convoys and stuff, which the convoys are really tricky because everything's in motion, everything's really frenetic. It's really hard to kind of, like, take those components and pull out a memorable, like kind of game, like, you know, game remembering experience from them, you know? Like, the kind of thing that, like, when I go and talk to somebody else about this game, I'm like, oh, you gotta try Mad Max. I was doing this thing last night, and I was in a convoy, and I ran into the, you know, like all of these things are set up to generate those moments, but because everything's so chaotic and frenetic and just like moving around all the time, it's really hard. It's really hard to get those moments sometimes. Like I've tried. Like I was working on a convoy a couple days ago for like an hour, and it was an hour of me catching up to the convoy, them beating the shit out of me fixing my car, and me catching back up to them.
That's usually a sign that you should move on and come back later when your car is more upgraded, because
Maybe you should get good.
The game I think may have a problem with like it's supposed to be open, but like there are open games out there where, you know, even if you're not at the recommended level, you have everything in your arsenal or, you know, in your skill set to tackle those problems and succeed. But honestly, like in Mad Max, if you try and do anything that's too far outside, like too far ahead of your skill level, you're kind of fucked.
There's not enough wiggle room for skill to win the day, like in this game, you know? And being an action game, that seems really fucking weird to me. It's not an RPG. And yet,
so you would have rather
like,
them focused
scaling,
on the cinematic, like making it like the movie.
But isn't it kind
No.
of an RPG? Because I mean,
it's not really.
I mean, not
Like it's got like kind of general system. Like, I mean, they have a very basic like stat system for you and your car, but it's not like
it doesn't give you the robust amount of choices because
you're not really working off of levels. Like the enemies aren't really working off of levels.
But
you
you are making choices about what you put points into and what you update. The problem is, over the course of a game that is as meaty as it is, there's so much content. You will inevitably kind of eventually put all the points into everything. Do you know what I mean?
J52 says it's a car PG.
That's how I describe
I can't
Gran
believe that
Turismo.
joke hasn't been made yet.
They want it to be, but it's.
I mean, the thing is, at its most basic level, I think it's an RPG because you do spend all of your time. Everything you do is in the interest of making your car sturdier, making it stronger, making Max pack a bigger punch. But it doesn't branch. It doesn't give you the it's not like a skill tree. You're not like, I'm going to go down this path and upgrade this instead and forego this whole side of this tree. You're going down a fairly linear path of upgrades. And
Exactly.
by the end of the game, you will have put points into everything.
There's.
So then the whole idea of putting points into something comes off a bit redundant when you're pretty much going to be putting stuff in it.
Sure,
No, that doesn't make it
the
not an
difference
RPG,
is
though.
the difference is I think is it's satisfying because you do get some really great visual feedback, and I do feel like I am trying desperately to get all this scrap so I can upgrade my car, because the moment you do upgrade your car, you instantly see
There's a lot of improvement between upgrades.
like if you look at the car from the beginning.
But it is good. But here's the thing: like they want you to be playing the stat game in your head of like acceleration and handling versus like armor and armaments, right? Mm-hmm. So like the heavier armored your car is, the slower it's gonna go, right? And there are different things you can do to kind of counteract that. However, in my 20 hours of playing this game, almost like my practical experience, not having armor and weapons means you can't do anything. So the acceleration and the handling doesn't really mean shit, because my car is already plenty fast enough. I don't have a problem catching up to anybody. Even when I'm on stock like car parts, I don't have a problem catching up to anybody. What I have a problem with is the fact that I'm going up against opponents in this area where I'm taking quests where the game has put me that have 3 and 4 layers of armor, and I was so worried about handling on my car that I didn't put any fucking armor on it.
See,
so now,
that's-
like, I take 2 hits and I'm done. So, like, they have these different paths and these different ideas that they want you to take. Like, they even have entire Archangel builds that are built completely around speed, acceleration, and handling.
Do you feel
right?
like you
But
can avoid
those
damage?
mechanics? No,
So
because the control,
this
like,
is the problem.
So you're
And-
saying it's all geared towards one kind of predetermined.
it's
setup.
I mean, it's kind of think of like I don't know, think of like
the
I think, like,
the
if you had an
story
RPG
progresses. The story progresses faster than the skill level needed to complete certain tasks.
the story is
associated with that
definitely
story.
they definitely really only want you to be playing a story mission once every like
Oh, I
4
see.
hours or
Yeah,
something
because
like
you
that.
could like this is one of those games where if the moment you come across a convoy where you spend like more than like 20 minutes trying to do it, honestly, the honest thing to do is just fucking stop, turn back, and go put everything you can into leveling up your car.
You know, game strikes a pretty good balance as far as like you're going to take a slower, heavier vehicle that maybe has more firepower
Banjo-Kazooie nuts and bolts.
versus like something that's like really fast and has very low armor but might have like a really powerful weapon. Twisted Metal.
I was gonna say.
Oh, god damn it!
But you know the other reason why I hesitate to call it an RPG is because there are options for upgrading your car, but everything is, like Nick said, on a very linear path. There aren't very many options. Like, there's only like 3 or 4 sets of tires in the game. There's only like 5 bodies you can use in the game, and a lot of this stuff is locked behind story missions.
Are you sure I'm finding bodies out in the world?
Yeah, there's like 5.
Only 5?
Well, are you talking about like are you talking about vehicle collection cars, or are you talking about magnum opus bodies?
I've driven up to like little
Like you
scavenging
find
areas.
a
and
body and you launch a flare.
Yeah.
Yeah, those cars that you could pick from at the beginning, those are the only ones you can find in the world.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
So it's not fleshed out enough. It's good ideas, just not fleshed out.
Well, there's
it's-
a lot of cars.
It's like they're trying to artificially pace the game a little too much, I feel like, because a lot of stuff is locked behind. So
Shadow
to
of
the point
Mordor
where
had
it's
that
like,
problem.
yeah,
I mean,
to
honestly,
the point where
this
a
is what-
lot of the enemies I'm running into have like armor that like I need a level 3 harpoon to rip that armor off so I can take these guys down. I don't get the level 3 harpoon until I've beat this story mission over here, and I don't like it just says story mission such and such. I don't know when the fuck that's
Yeah,
even
that's
coming.
their biggest.
Like,
I think that's their biggest misstep here.
so
is
I just
locking
don't
things.
do any of this stuff until the game tells me I'm ready for that. Like it's not. There's not enough room for experimentation or openness for me to feel comfortable calling it an RPG.
That honestly, I think is their biggest misstep is locking things behind story missions because it does force it. It does feel more forced than a proper RPG should. I was also going to say earlier. I think it's funny you bring up Shadows of Mordor because I feel like this is the Shadow of Mordor of this year. Maybe not as prominently because Shadow of Mordor had a very, very unique aspect to it. But as far as like creating an open world with RPG elements that don't quite all come together as satisfying as a way as you'd
but it's
like.
not bad. It's just
not bad.
Just not remarkable.
It's just like outside of like if you pulled out the Nemesis system out of Shadow of Mordor, I think that game would be fairly unremarkable.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
And I think if you pulled the open world car combat out of this game, the game would be
nothing
wholly
to it.
unremarkable.
Yeah.
But with that said, I think it's first of all, I think the game is like way more like beautiful than I think it has any right to be. Like this game is like fucking.
Wait, you've been playing
like-
this for 20 hours. How long is this game?
Dude,
Because like you know,
I've only done.
it doesn't seem like it'd be that long, but
I've been playing for about 20 hours, and I'm looking.
It doesn't, but the game wants to stretch itself as
thing is,
far as
That's because
possible.
You are
Metal
Gear
Gloat,
Solid.
you know, they all do it.
Progression in this game is fully centered around scrap. You have to find scrap to pump into your car and into for whatever reason you use scrap to upgrade Max as well.
I mean,
don't know why.
I literally, I literally got to a point in the story where they're like, okay, the car's ready, we just need to get a V8 engine now. And they're like, all right, we're going to go get a V8. And that was 10 hours ago. And they keep finding new things for me to do that I have to,
that's
like, I go,
annoying.
they're like, okay, the only V8 in town is a gas town. You got to go enter the gas town race and win to get the V8. And then you go to gas town, the guy's like, I can't let you in the race. He's like, well, wait a minute. Maybe if you do a mission for me, I'll let you enter the race. And then you do the fucking mission for the guy, give him what he wants, and he's like, okay, you know what? You got to qualify first. So I want you to go see this other guy who runs a different
I
race,
fucking
and
hate
I
that
want you to
shit.
go talk to that guy.
Sounds
you
like
go
the
talk
Witcher-
to that fucking guy, and he says, I've got a fighter that you need for you in the race. But you know what? She owes me a lot of money. Go talk to her and find out what you got to do to raise the money to clear her debt so that she'll fight with you, so that you can enter this race, so that you can enter the next race, so that you can beat the guy who has the V8 engine, so you can get the fucking V8 for your car that we told you about 12 hours ago.
And then you can finally find Siri.
And then we don't know what happens. Like,
And you know what that sounds like to me? A fucking RPG.
dude,
It does.
It does sound like a fucking RPG.
But it's like none of it makes any sense, and it's just like filler and filler and filler, and none of it's interesting or fun.
The thing is,
It sounds like The Witcher 3.
I've spent about 20 hours in the game, and I've only unlocked half of the world map, and it is an incredibly.
Are you doing all the checkboxy stuff?
Dude, of course I am.
Yeah.
Dude, I love.
Is it frustrating?
Dude, but fucking look at. I fucking love Far Cry. I love Assassin's Creed.
But
those are all the same.
those are like
this game is
accomplished.
Ubisoftified like crazy. Like people love to say that. They throw that term around. That's what this game is, and I've always been
It's
a
like
fan
every
of that
time you
style
go
of
to
game.
every time you go to one of those strongholds, they have a checklist of like there's 8 pieces of scrap, there's a historical relic, and there's like
See,
like
I can't
this,
do that.
like-
You know, I don't do that. I didn't do that in Shadow of Mordor. Like
And you know what? And the thing is, like, if you're not a fan of the checkboxy stuff, and you know some people just aren't, and I understand why, but I have this like compulsive personality that wants to just fucking collect everything. And that's why I loved Far Cry, and of course because this game is so similar to Far Cry in terms of its world structure, of course I'm gonna do a lot of that stuff. The problem is like, and not necessarily the problem, but like everything is in this world is focused around getting scrap, so you could upgrade your car and upgrade max, whatever. But all the scrap that you find in the world is like you're finding like 4 or 5 pieces at a time.
Yeah.
And you need like 300 just to do the most basic thing, and there are ways to get more scrap. But, you know, it's a slow build. But, like, the thing that I am really enjoying is it gives you incentive to take over the strongholds. Because, like, think of the strongholds as, like, the towers in Far Cry. But when you take over a stronghold, people from your base come into that stronghold, take it over, and they're harvesting scrap from that stronghold. And then every, like, hour you get...
all of your
It's like the
scrap,
bank in like Assassin's Creed. You build the bank and you get a certain deposit of money every certain amount of time. It works just like that.
You're basically
and you eventually start to get it a lot-
diversifying your scrap portfolio. is
Yeah,
what you're doing.
and you
Like-
start to build stuff a lot faster. And I kind of like that stuff. It's you know
Do you
it's
think-
contrived, but whatever.
is this just a different era of like where every major publisher is putting out, you know, 1 or 2 open world games a year, and it's just we expect more from open world games. Like, remember how bored we all were, or some of us were, with like Watch Dogs? Is this suffering a similar fate? Like, just
Well, I don't
because
know.
of
Don't ask me.
open
I
world
love
fatigue?
Watch Dogs. But
There are really cool original elements in the game, but they took those elements and put it into one of those Ubisoft Watch Dogs
uninspired.
The thing is,
open world games.
Ubisoft found a very adaptable way to they created a template for open world games
That sucks.
that people are adapting. But the good thing is that developers are adapting it, but they're putting in their own. They're all contributing something different. Like as far as like
so those original ideas, if they were all to come together in one original game, then it'd be
But like
great.
think about it,
Seems
before
uninspired.
Ubisoft came along and created that template, like before that it was fucking Rockstar. Every open world
Yeah.
game that came out
So-
post Grand
me
Theft
ask
Auto
you
was
this.
trying to be Grand Theft Auto.
Would
It's the
we
same
like
thing.
Red Faction Guerrilla if it came out today?
No, probably not.
See, that makes me sad.
I mean, Red Faction Guerrilla is fun, and like there are cool things there, but like there have been so many just like run-of-the-mill mediocre open world action games between.
No, I don't think that's the problem. I think that there's been so many great ones that we have higher expectations now. Just the bar is raised. I don't think the
Dude, but
quality is
now-
like down low.
But I think now one has to be like really great to not be one of those. Like I don't know. Like the concept of an open world game should be amazing. Like that should be like
But
a
that's-
win-win. Like that is the ultimate. Like that
But
is the
honestly,
ultimate dream.
That was the mentality last gen or
Finding,
2 generations ago.
But finding shit to put in that open world is where everyone falters.
The thing is, the problem is that was the mentality that 2 generations ago when an open world game was rare. Nowadays, tech has come so far that like everyone expects your game to be
Yeah,
open
they
world.
can,
Or at
they
least
can,
open
they
world
can
to
make
a
an open
degree.
world in like a year or so.
Like every game is open world to a degree now. Like it's becoming harder and harder to find games that are strictly linear based.
Well, then,
games.
and when they are, they get knocked against it for it,
Yeah, true, exactly. I mean,
which is wrong. But
Because the linear design is also, I think, is just as uninspired of some of this open world design.
honestly, we're in this weird period right now where we're waiting for the next innovation as far as open world games go. I don't think any of these games are inherently bad. I think they're a lot of fun, but we all know that there's got to be another step, the next innovation in the genre, and we just haven't had it yet.
Watch Dogs 2.
It's gonna be fucking Rockstar probably that comes along and does something truly unique.
You don't need innovation. You just need to make it how the games used to be.
What? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that.
Just, go back to the 90s and start making games like that.
But you know what's funny? We ended up talking about open world games a lot. I'm gonna do a top 5. I already have my list prepared and everything. Top 5 video for next month. I'm gonna be doing top 5 franchises that should try an open world format.
I feel like that's an exciting topic. I feel like it's a less exciting topic now because everything you say, I'm gonna picture like that thing Ubisoftized, and I don't want to do that.
I tried to pick games for my list that I think could experiment with open world in a way other than Ubisoft style. I mean, to a degree.
I mean, it's getting to the point now. I think I know what Brad's saying. Like when we think open world, we like instantly you do think of like how Ubisoft do it, like your Far Cry, like whatever. Maybe even less so than say Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. It's just
the thing is, this industry progresses so fucking fast. It was just yesterday, or 2 years ago, or whatever, when Far Cry 3 came out, and people were like, "Holy shit, this game is crazy." And 2 years later, it's like, okay, that is crazy. That's great. I love that, but like, I'm kind of ready for the next step, and no one's done it yet.
Fatigue of it, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Mad Max. I'm still enjoying the hell out of it, but it does have its fair share of problems. Oh, I forgot to mention I mentioned last week like the storms and stuff. Have you done any of the storms out in the open world?
Yeah.
Because holy
Those things
shit,
suck,
dude! But you can get giant crates of loot in
Yeah,
there, right?
after one blew through, like they were dropping crates that had like 300 scraps.
Have you gone into a lightning storm?
No.
Dude, the lightning storms are fucking nuts. Yeah. It's like a big dust storm, but like there's just fucking lightning striking the ground everywhere, and there's these giant crates being blown around by the wind, and you have to snag them with the harpoon and hold on to them until the storm passes, so you can get out and bust them open and get all the loot.
That sounds cool.
It is cool, and like it happens rarely enough that
for every
those
cool,
moments where it's
like
a storm is coming, you're like, oh shit!
It just kind of feels
event.
like every cool moment in this game is met with a very not cool moment.
This might be jumping the gun, but
like,
could Just Cause 3 be that one that you're talking about?
Like the next step? Dude, I have a feeling.
I'm scared about Just Cause 3.
Like,
all
could
this
it be
down talk about Mad Max has me worried for it.
The thing is, I don't think that's going to be.
It is the same developer.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
I mean,
Maybe this is like their B project.
The thing is, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I've seen other Avalanche games. I've seen Just Cause 1. I've seen Just Cause 2. And while those games are fun, I wouldn't exactly call them polished.
But they're adequate.
This Mad Max feels like a way more polished experience than Just Cause 2.
Careful, because Just Cause 2 is one of like the smoothest, most beautiful. Like,
Dude,
when that thing came out on PC, that was like amazing.
Mad Max is
he doesn't play
not
PC games
that polished. Like there's a
Maybe the
lot
360
of technical,
version.
like,
I have had
there are
a
a lot.
pretty fucking smooth experience with Mad Max.
There's some
like the thing is,
fucky.
I feel like there are so many games out there. The moment someone runs into like a technical glitch of any magnitude, they're instantly like, the game's great, but it has technical problems.
Did you see the Tomb Raider
No.
video I posted?
No,
where that
which
dude gets Fulton out of the... Like this video that they released over his gameplay or whatever, where Lara Croft puts her bow around a dude and he just flies up into the air.
Wait,
like
which
he
game
was
is this?
Fultoned. The new Tomb Raider.
Oh.
Dude, I mean, Nick,
That game's totally gonna
I'm not saying like, oh, I played for 18 hours and I ran into a bug here. Like, I mean, I am consistently having technical issues with that game.
And you're playing on
every time I
PS4?
sit down and play. I'm playing
I'm
on
having
PS4.
the complete
I'm talking
opposite
about
experience.
like audio drivers crashing, and then it's just like a sound effect going bah, 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 over and over again until like I fast travel out of an area. I'm talking about like the fucking like on the highlight from the feed where that explosion went off and Max just like went fucking crazy for 2 minutes in Ragdoll. That's happened to me several times since.
That happened to me once. I have never had an audio glitch in the game. Actually, I take that back. There was one time where I got into the car and the audio for the car, like the car's audio for like the engine starting up, never came on. So I was driving around and there was like no car sounds.
It was
I was like, this feels really weird.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre. But I got out of the car and got back in and it started up just fine.
Dude, I mean,
that's only happened to me once though.
You know what? Scalebound could be that open world game that does something truly
It could
different.
be. That could be, because you know what? You can fly dragons and you can go from one place to the next. I've seen it in person.
I synced it. Hey, I played a
synced it.
game.
What'd you play?
I played this game that it's called Undertale. You probably don't know too much about it, but if you listen real closely to the wind, you'll hear a lot of whispers about it. It's kind of building up some hype and excitement. This is an RPG that's very reminiscent of Earthbound.
Is it an RPG though? Is it?
Well, I mean, yeah,
I'm just kidding. Just keep going.
It is. Well, sort of. Okay, it's hard to describe this game. It's a very humorous, light, but maybe not so light RPG.
This looks kind of shit, dude. I'm just saying.
No, well, I mean, you know what? The graphics do kind of suck. I mean, it just looks really. It looks like Earthbound. Like they kind. It kind of looks like they didn't try, but they were definitely going for a certain aesthetic. Yeah. The main character looks really gross, though. Like, she's like some Simpsons
What?
gross.
Oh,
Or is
get
that
to
a boy? I don't even know.
Maybe get to the game. 'Cause
Okay, this game is very funny. It's very well written. It's very charming. At first, I was super skeptical. It just felt a little too twee for my taste, especially the way people were
Twee?
talking about it.
what is this tweet?
Just let's just say trying a little too hard to be like a little too clever, a little too charming. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
You think it's trying too hard?
No, see, that's what I initially thought. Okay, hold on. I just want to say I went in here with a healthy amount of skepticism because I'm not a big Earthbound fan because I think it is clever, but I don't like the way the game plays.
Oh, twee equals pretentious?
Well, it doesn't equal pretentious, but it's when something is so clever and
I've never heard this term before. Can we talk about this term for like 10 minutes? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't mean to derail you.
So why do you like this and not Earthbound?
So here's the twist. Here's the difference. Well, I'm still really early in the game. I'm almost. The thing is, when I finally finished playing the other night, it was finally starting to get really good. And then I recorded some footage, and like that stuff was really good. Like, so this isn't an RPG, but you don't actually have to like kill anything.
Huh.
You're not selling this.
The enemies you come across, you can like talk to them, you can like joke with them. You have all these options of like ways you can interact with these enemies. And really, like to end a battle, you don't have to like kill something. You could just like make the enemy kind of cool with you or like kind of let them go. But you might have to like get them to a point to where they're like cool with that. It's a very strange game where you have a lot of options. I can give you an example.
So you're
I
basically
thought, like,
talking them out of like committing homicide?
Kind of, like it sort of takes that idea behind like the Shin Megami Tensei thing where you can kind of like talk to enemies to like a whole other level. Like it's like I was fighting like this vegetable like with a face and
Sounds
and like
Like
and,
a
like, he was
Undertale.
really fucking angry and you can like choose to eat him, but like that might be a little hostile. Like there definitely seems to be some themes of like, are you killing everything? Are you being kind of hostile or being kind of a jerk? Or are you being like nice to everything? And you could totally be nice to things. And like I was fighting this vegetable and I didn't want to eat him because I have not killed like I think I accidentally killed something like during the tutorial, but I'm level 1. My attack is 0. My defense is 0. Like I have not leveled up at all because I never get experience because I never kill anything. But the thing is, it doesn't matter because whether they're bosses or like creatures,
Sounds awesome.
you can kind of talk your way out of a fight. It's like Fallout or something. But
Wait, you could talk your way out of a fight? Okay.
of everything.
I guess you're right.
So like I was fighting this vegetable and was like, oh, I don't want to eat him. Let's talk.
I guess I typically talk my way into
talk
it.
it
So I was
out
like,
with a vegetable.
let me compliment this vegetable or some shit. Like there's all kinds of different verbs depending on what you're fighting. And I was like, dude, like just eat your eat green vegetables. That's what he
You
told me.
told the vegetable to eat vegetables?
No, the vegetable
Cannibalism.
told me to eat my green vegetables. He was giving me advice. And then, so let me explain something about this combat system. It's very basic, except when you're on defense. And when the enemy
What is
attacks
going
you,
on?
when the enemy attacks
He
you,
looked at a sign and there was a little narrative box that says there's narration on this sign, and then the font changed and it was the narration on the sign that was also a narrative box.
no, the game is super, super clever.
Like what?
It's super funny. It's like this game is fucking hilarious. I met these characters, like these two skeletons, and one's kind of like trying to work with me, but he keeps doing like skeleton puns, and he's always winking at me when he does it, and then like his brother, who's like this asshole who's trying to capture me because I'm a human. It was like, God damn it, he's doing puns again. I hate when you do puns. Why are you doing puns? And then he does a pun, and it's all like, I'm like, God damn these people. It's just, it's very funny. So this dog that I come. Okay, let me explain the fucking mechanics. When you're on defense, you have this little heart that you're moving around, and it becomes like a bullet hell where you're trying to dodge their attack, but you literally are dodging these bullet patterns that are different depending on what enemy you're fighting. And this dog says like, dude, don't move. So I don't move at all. And then he starts to think like I'm not even there. And then like I just like, or then I like pet him or something. And then he gets freaked out because he says if I can't see, don't move. But if I'm not moving, he can't see me. But then when I pet him, he freaks out because he got pet by something he can't see. And then the battle's over. What? it's super strange. Look, he's like, something pet me, something that isn't there. I'm gonna need some dog treats for this, and then he just leaves. But like, and then I keep talking to him. Like every fight is like a puzzle, and you have a lot of options. Like I was in this boss fight, and I really didn't want to kill this thing, so I just said, like,
I don't really want to kill you.
I didn't even say that. I just said, I'm not gonna kill you, and then like. I did that like 20 times, and she's eventually like, "Dude, what do you mean? Why?" It's. I kind of don't want to say certain things about this game because like everything is kind of this little surprise. It's a very surprising game that's I feel like I barely scratched the surface of, but I definitely want to see more. If you like Earthbound, if you like stuff that's just really funny and inventive, like this is a must play. If you play a Dragon Quest game and you're just really charmed by the enemy designs, I think you might like this game too. Even though, like Jack said, everything looks a bit shit. It's still really clever. Let me give you one more example of an enemy I fought. It's like an ice cube wearing a hat, right?
Of course.
And like the options you have, you can fight him normally, where like a bar comes up and you kind of time it right, you do more damage, or you can like talk. Like the option was to compliment him on his hat, or like ignore him completely, or like try to steal a hat. And I was like, well, let's compliment him on his hat. And he's like, oh, thanks. I'm really proud of my hat. And then like the fight just ended. I spared him or whatever. And the confrontation ended. But when I was fighting another one, I'm like, let me ignore him. And he's like, why are you ignoring me? You don't like my hat? And like he got all pissed off and he kept attacking me. And then eventually I tried to steal his hat. He's like, you can't steal my hat yet. You've not hurt me enough. So I hurt him a bunch. And then I steal his hat. And he's like, oh no, you stole my hat. I have no reason. He's just like an ice cube, and he's all sad. He's like, I have no reason to live. And you could just end the fight, but I just kept talking to him, and I was like, in like console or whatever popped up, and I apologized, and I was like, no man, it's cool, you know.
He said that
life is worth living, even though you don't have your hat.
Wait, you didn't give him the hat back?
No, I didn't give him the hat back, and he was like,
you're more than that.
you're more than just your hat. And then the ice cube was like, okay, yeah, sure, that's cool. I mean, I guess you're right. I was too attached to my hat or whatever.
This ice cube, I can't get the image of Carlos out of my head. It sounds like Carlos would be saying
It's
this
just an ice cube. And then I ended the
Life
fight.
is more than your
but
hat.
in a slightly more positive way. Look at this fucking skeleton. He's like, all his attacks are blue. Don't move. It's like a red stop sign, but blue. And it's very clever. It's very funny. And there's a lot of puzzles too. I haven't done too many of them because I'm still pretty early in the game. But
because you keep talking to everybody.
well, the game is just so goofy. Like, I go into this room, like, I guess my adversary. By the way, I meet the snowman. He's like, dude, I can't move, but I want to see the world. Take a bit of me and walk around, and I'll be able to see the world. And I got really desperate in a fight. I was about to die, so I like ate it. And restored all my health. And then I was like, oh shit, I just ate part of that snowman. And then I went back to him, and he's like, oh, what happened to a piece of me? I guess you can just have another piece. And I don't know if I should keep eating the pieces of the snowman, but it restored my health all the way.
That is fucking weird.
It's super weird. No, let me tell you. Okay, so I go meet these skeletons. Oh, here it is. And they're like, I've done this puzzle for you. You got to navigate my maze, and if you don't navigate it like perfectly, you're gonna get electrocuted and die. And then I try to do it, and it zaps the guy, and the other skeleton's like, dude, you got to give her the zapping orb first before it can zap her if she fucks up the maze. And he's like, okay, let me give it to her. And he walks through the maze himself to give it to me, but he leaves the footprints. So I just follow the footprints, and it's over. There's no puzzle. He just fucked up. This game's so fucking goofy. Like,
that's amazing.
But I'm excited to play more of this game. I was skeptical at first. I thought it was kind of dull during the tutorial, but now that I've started to see some characters that seem a lot funnier, I'm more excited to finish it. The only downside I'd see is that incredible. The only downside, I think, is that when I'm getting into... I was worried at first because I was running into the same enemies over and over again, and I was worried that, I come across another ice cube with a hat, I would pretty much just solve that battle the same way again and again. But the more I've played it, the more I realize that they are introducing new enemy types, like, constantly. So I've never fought, like, the same thing more than a handful of times. And that's good. That was one of the things that was really worrying me, because I thought while it was clever, it might get tedious, but it's not as tedious as I was hoping, as I was worried about. So I'm definitely gonna play more of this game.
God damn it, Carlos.
Yeah, this is I don't. Apparently, there's the guy who does the music for this game did like the music for some popular webcomic-y thing or something, and that's why like people started talking about it. But the people are playing it, and it's getting like a rave reception. Like Jim Sterling reviewed it, he gave it a 10 out of 10 and was like, "Dude, this thing's remarkable." So I here's this ice thing with a hat, or he's an ice cap. I get it.
You just got that.
Oh my god! I get the joke. This is amazing.
One of the
there's a lot of clever,
fighting...
but see, look at the defense. I'm moving this heart, trying not to hit the sides because I take damage, and each enemy has various attack patterns, but they never repeat. They're always different. One enemy to the next has like a different attack pattern, and I've never like done this one before. But it's a pretty clever idea of kind of mitigating damage. Like if you're good at dodging things, you'll never take damage, which is good because I'm never leveling up, and I'm always going to have the same amount of hit points.
It sounds like everyone's going to have their own thing too. Like they, with whatever responses they pick, I'm sure there's everyone's going to have their own little funny story to tell out of it.
They're all clever, memorable. I mean, this is the kind of thing
like
where by the end of it, there's going to be all these memorable enemies and bosses and stuff. And
well, that's cool.
And I can't wait to play more. I actually was sad that I had to record footage that wasn't live because I don't want people who are watching to miss any of this game because it seems really good.
Cool. So you'll be playing more of it on the feed, I assume.
Jim Sterling said it's his favorite RPG of all time.
What?
No,
I mean that sounds like a very Jim Sterling thing to say.
No, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people who are saying stuff like that.
Yeah, well,
that's
cool. Is it only on PC?
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. For now.
It looks cool. All right, we need to take a break. And we'll come back, and we'll catch up with Jack. Because, Jack, you've been playing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You've been playing some Metal Gear Solid 3, haven't you?
Yeah. Yes, I have.
Well, you've been playing a lot of Metal Gear in general. We maybe talk a little bit about that. I also want to get Krispy's opinion. I know he's been playing Until Dawn on the feed. I just want to get a basic idea of how you feel about that. But we're going to take a break. So don't just hold that thought, Krispy. Don't talk. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back in just a second.
Bye.
Hello, Jack.
Hello. Nicholas, how are you?
Good. Welcome to the bump spot.
Thank you.
Guys.
I'm kind of.
We have lots of stuff to talk
Oh
about.
my god, I'm kind of scared. I don't know what all this is.
Hyde is actually getting excited.
This is the bump spot, Jack.
Okay, what is the bump spot?
The bump spot is just where we talk about things that we're doing on the site,
And I shuffle papers.
and Brad shuffles papers appropriately. This week on 4playernetwork.com, we're broadcasting a lot of Soma.
A lot of Soma.
So much Soma.
I'm going to be playing Soma tonight after the broadcast, or after the podcast recording. So if you happen to be watching live, I'll be playing it tonight. I will be picking up where I leave off on Thursday night. Hopefully,
What time, Nick?
So I think I'm going to start at 7 and try and just play. I would love to finish the game, but
I hear
I
the
don't
game's pretty long.
yeah, it may not be feasible, but if I don't finish it on Thursday, I'll try and get around to finishing it over the weekend on the feed. What else do we got, Brad? We got some new patron stuff. We got some top 5s, right?
Yeah, we got some top 5s. If you're a patron, if you're a supporter through Twitch, also you have access to the exclusive top 5. Last week, my top 5 games that I think should be Metroidvanias went up for everybody to watch. If you would like to watch another one and you're a supporter, you do have exclusive access to it. I did my top 5 favorite music video intros. I know that sounds a little weird, but like, let me give an example. When you start up Final Fantasy VIII, and there's the really cool
That one gives me chills.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
that's an example of what I'm talking about. Like a non-story intro, one that's more of like a music
Soul Reaver.
video. But Soul Reaver doesn't count because these are music video intros, not story intros. But yeah, go watch that if you are a supporter and you don't know it exists. Go watch it because it's pretty cool.
And we'll have 2 more top 5s next month. One will be public. One will be exclusive to supporters.
Wait. It says here you're working on a top 5, Nick.
I am working on a top 5. I'm doing my top 5 franchises that should go open world, or should at least experiment with open world formats.
Interesting.
I'm excited. I already have my list. I just got to record and get that spliced together. So I don't know if that'll be the public one or the exclusive one. We haven't figured that out yet, but we'll have 2 videos next month to look for.
Also, if you're a what tier of patron?
For what?
We have a lot of patrons hanging out in Hip Chat right now.
Yes, we do. The $10 tier we added. So we updated our patron tiers. You can learn more about our Patreon at patreon.com/4player. But we updated our tiers last week. If you are in the $10 tier or higher, you are eligible to join our Hip Chat room. It's a free app you can download on your phone. It's like a private chat room. We have a patron dedicated room, and we're inviting people to join us in there. We can use that to just bounce ideas off of, talk about random shit, plan events, things like that, get feedback directly from you guys. So I've actually already emailed everyone who is in the $10 tier or higher. There's a lot of people who have not yet responded, and yes, Biohunter, I did see that you bumped it up. I'll send you an invite later. So if you are in the $10 tier or higher, you should have an email in your inbox from me asking if you want to opt into it. If you respond to that email, I'll send you an invite and you're join the room. Also, Patreon related, the Revival Club, which we announced the return of last week. We have a poll up for you guys. We're still taking votes in the poll.
What's winning the poll?
Dragon Quest VIII
Really?
is winning the poll
that's
by a lot.
interesting. Really?
I mean, it's limited number of people who can vote for it, so it's a relatively small pool. But
we need more people to go vote.
But we do need more people to go vote. But it is in the lead right now by several votes.
Interesting.
Next in line, the next Doom and Hitman Contracts are both tied for second place.
Nice.
So I don't know if you want to help us decide which game we're going to feature on our first episode, the return episode of the Revival Club podcast. This is the game that we'll be playing on the feed periodically and talking about a lot on Twitter and whatnot for the next 2 to 3 months.
Y'all can play Dragon Quest VIII. I'm just going to play the Final Fantasy 12 demo disc.
You piece of shit. You know, he's probably going to do that. Anyways, it's exciting. Please go vote. Honestly, I've been wanting to play Dragon Quest VIII again for a long time. Haven't had a chance, so I'm eager to maybe try it again. And lastly, I want to bring up Rainbow Six Siege beta starts on the 26th. I think this is Saturday. And we gave out a bunch of codes, and I think Chris Davis has what's left of our codes, and he'll be handing them out in chat, I think, tonight throughout the night. So we're going to be probably putting together some sort of Rainbow Six Siege multiplayer night over the weekend. And you guys will be invited to join in on the action. So I would follow us on Twitter at 4Player Podcast. Or you can check out the calendar, which is at 4playernetwork.com/calendar to find out when we end up scheduling that event. Especially if you have access to the beta, we'll be pulling people in. Anyways, that's all we have for the bump spot tonight, right?
Wait. Yes, that's it. Unless Jack has anything to say.
This is the first time I've been on the bump spot. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here, Jack.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the bump spot, Jack.
Thank you.
Let's get back to the show. All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I want to take a moment to catch up with our good friend Jack.
Hello.
You've been playing a lot of video games lately.
I've been playing a lot of a game that everyone's already talked to death, so I'm not going to spend any time really talking about
That'd
it.
be Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Yeah, and very swiftly after finishing that one, I decided to go back and play the rest of the series. Because
Did you play them in order? Or?
Huh?
Did you play them in order? Like, did you go back to 1 and play that one? Or?
I've been playing them in like bits and pieces.
Good. Jumping around.
Dude, I forget how difficult 1 is. Mm-hmm. 1.
Yeah.
I've also been playing Metal Gear 1 and 2 as well.
Oh, man.
2,
wow.
2 is actually pretty. They sound pretty
I've never
good.
touched those.
And actually, I'm surprised how much Metal Gear Solid actually copies from Metal Gear 2. As far as like
the story is very similar.
Yeah, it is. Like it's as far as different events that happen. But the big one I want to talk about is Metal Gear Solid 3: Snake Eater. I have been,
which we all know is the best.
Is I know it's gone up on my list. It wasn't actually to begin with, but I'm currently playing it for the first time on European Extreme mode.
Ooh, and that makes you a crazy person.
It does. Well, yeah, it's fucking insane. Yeah, there's no two ways
way
about
around it. Yes, it does.
Yep, and that basically equates to game over on alert. So, I mean, you can get by if they think they see you and it goes to caution, that's fine. As soon as they see you, game over and it starts again. You also get far fewer supplies and you have absolutely no means of motion tracking or your motion detectors and shit like that.
Crazy.
It's really, really difficult.
So it's basically impossible.
So far, I've actually been very surprised how much I've been enjoying it. And
Is it you? What about alerts during boss fights?
Boss fights, they're mandatory. They have to see you through that.
Okay.
But I've been also tranquilizing every boss as well because I haven't made it difficult enough for myself. And been trying to collect.
Beat the end though without.
I beat the end.
Oh, you
tranquilize them. Yeah, I'm actually as far as my eyes just been shot out, and I'm to regrouping with Eva under the waterfall. Yeah, but I've actually become very, very. Well, this game is really. My opinion of this game has really changed a lot, having played on European Extreme. You never really notice, or at least I never really noticed, just how well designed these like little maps and areas are, and just how many ways you can approach any situation. Almost, I want to say. It's different in regards to MGS5. MGS5 gives you the option of where you want to infiltrate and where you want to begin. Obviously, Metal Gear Solid 3 is far more linear, but the options and scenarios that are given to you, the ways that you can approach them is insane. Like, and there's this one particular spot on the map right before the end that really kind of solidified this for me.
Right before the end, or
right before the end boss.
The end, okay.
The end boss.
You mean
the end
boss.
as the end? The fucking sniper. Fucking Kojima, dude. Seriously.
He did that. He did that intentionally.
There's this little like hut on its own like map thing. Obviously you go from like map to map as far as the jungle bit goes. But there's this one little hut that's completely optional, and inside it is like suppressors and some really like valuable gear because obviously your suppressor breaks quicker, and so everything is valuable. Like you use absolutely every resource that you can get. And so I was approaching up to this hut, and the way I'd do it before is I would like just sneak up, just pop him in the head with a tranquilizer gun. Well, I've got like 4 bullets in the 4 darts for the tranquilizer gun, so I'm not going to use them. Instead, I managed to sneak my way through. I got underneath the cabin. I noticed like a little hole in the floorboard. Peeked through, watched the pattern as the guy was going around it. The guy goes in front to where I could see him. Take him out with the tranquilizer gun. He goes out, go around the front. Found another way in that I didn't even know existed before, and I'm in the actual shack itself. There's another guard in there. I actually noticed another hole, like in the siding of the wall, which I would have never even noticed had I been paying attention. So, like, I'm shooting through this little tiny gap that's in the wall, and I can see everything. Like, it's insane. So, like, I'm using all these different tricks and accessories and stuff that I would never use otherwise. Yeah. And like I say, you really come to appreciate. And there's areas like that the entire game. And so at the time I already had my TNT placed on the little munitions hut that was right next to it. So once I got everything I needed, I'd detonate that. Everyone would run across to it, so I could make my getaway. But like I said, there's just areas that are littered with ways to do it, and the amount of options you have is insane. And even like I was saying before the show to the guys here, I was like, I even found a use for the crocodile cap, which I would. It's kind of a joke item, but I've really
your
used
exact
it.
words were, I actually found a spot where I needed a crocodile hat. I was like,
because
if you didn't have it, you'd be walking through the water, just be like, God,
It
what
would
I
be
wouldn't
fucking
do for a
difficult.
crocodile head right now.
you never know when you might need it. But on top of that, like, so I'm going through and I've got this crocodile hat on, I'm like going through the swamp, no one's seeing me. And it feels really fucking rewarding when you do it. And not only that, but you forget just how many context-sensitive codec sequences there are too. Like, I never realized they speak about just about every thing that you pick up. They've got a comment on. And it's usually funny too. Like, that's one thing I missed about on number 5 was it's just so much more goofy.
Humorless.
It's very, like, number 3 is very humor, like, it's full of it. It's excellent. Like, even something as insignificant as putting on a certain face camo will trigger, like, this entire string of, like, funny dialogue between me, Sig, and all the rest of them. Just wearing the crocodile cap, I happen to be wearing it. I called up Major Zero for, like, just want to know if there was anything I could do around the area. And then they're all commenting on the hat that I was wearing at the time. I'm like, well, that's fucking cool. So I end up calling paramedic to save it, and then she makes a comment on it, and then and then I was like, okay, so I call up all these other people that I have on my list. They're all making comments. I call Eva, and she's like, I don't think it looks stupid. Because the whole point is every one of these people are saying, you look ridiculous, take it off. And then Eva's like, I think it looks cool. So there's all these, like, just different things I never noticed before, and the attention to detail that went into this one particularly is insane.
You know what also kind of blows my mind? This game actually looks really good.
It's held up very well. This is actually like a...
Are you playing the HD
This is
collection?
from the HD collection.
Yeah. No, this is actually the 2003 trailer. This is probably not
this was
pre-rendered, but it's... it doesn't quite look as good as that. But the HD version looks really good.
Yeah.
It does look really good. And yeah, it's clunky on the gameplay and all the rest of it, but it's so rewarding. Like I said, I've come to have a whole higher appreciation of this game, having played on European Extreme, than I ever would have before.
What about 4? Does 4 have European Extreme?
4 has a Big Boss Extreme, which is kind of the equivalent.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've been replaying bits of 4 too, and as much shit as 4 gets,
It's so good.
it's the most I've never seen a game that's made for the fans so much as MGS4. I mean, as far as references, as far as just everything, it's a big reunion of MGS1, and for that reason, and that's what people wanted. It's fucking good for that.
Dude, the great thing about this series is that from game to game, every single entry takes a unique approach to how the world is built and how the characters that go into it and where they cross paths and like all this stuff. Like that's the exciting thing. Like
I do give Kojima and his team a lot of props for stepping out of their comfort zone with every installment. I mean, they use the best bits of their previous ones and build upon it to do something original. And so while people may not like the action nature of number 4, that's fine. It's not... You can't fault them for experimenting. And as far as experimenting goes in number 3, again, it is insane. Like I said, I'm noticing tricks and shit that I never noticed
how time
before.
is going to ultimately end up treating Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to be as favorable as 2.
The thing is, because gameplay-wise, it's by far the best game in the franchise.
Oh,
it's
it's the best game I've played this year and probably in a while, but narratively, it can suck a dick.
I mean, which is a big deal because
That's
Metal
kinda
Gear
why.
is like having that. Like, it's not just that. Like, and again, I'm not super far into the game, I guess, but I've only played 23 hours.
Yeah.
But like having like crazy memorable boss fights. I mean, do you think that's lacking a little bit?
It's kind of absent for the most part.
Which is crazy.
How
right?
And this way
That's
again.
like not having many boss fights in a Devil May Cry game. Or
Well,
something.
and then the other thing I want to point out with number 3 is I forgot just how fucking beautifully paced that game is. I mean,
yeah.
it really is. You hit Ocelot as first boss fight. There's a moment of when you're in the caves and you haven't got nothing, and then within like 20 minutes you're fighting
the fear, the pain.
the pain with the hornets,
Yeah.
and then on your way back you're backtracking, and then all of a sudden you're into the fear. It's very well paced. And when you get into Groznygrad, there's just like there's like so many little things that I didn't realize.
3 is honestly jam packed with a lot of really great characters.
It really is,
Really
and
memorable
that's
really
the exact.
memorable
That is
moments,
the
too.
thing that was missing with 5 is there's like no stage presence from anyone. There's just no character or, this one, it knows it's batshit and it just rolls with it. But like, for example, when you get captured and you're in the torture cell and they take out your eye and then you get put in the prison cell. And you get given a fork, I think, and you got that
to take out your other eye.
You get given a fork, and then Johnny, the guard with the diarrhea, he'll keep throwing you food, and you just eat that. I didn't know that if you went into like the menu and hit like the viewer, like where you can actually see your full body model.
Yeah.
If you spin it around, which I know makes you throw up, I know it makes you throw up. If you do that in this particular situation, and you exit out of the game, you will throw up on the floor in your cell, and then Johnny will be like, "Are you okay?" And he'll open up the door. Come in to see if you're all right, and then you can just beat him up and leave. Just little shit like that.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And it's that kind of detail I don't think was ever put in.
That level of detail goes even back farther, to fucking Metal Gear Solid 1, although Metal Gear Solid 1, like, they didn't have as many, like, options. Like there was a similar sequence in Metal Gear Solid 1 where you had to improvise to get out of a cell. And I think there was a couple ways to do it.
There's been a moment where you get out of cell in just about every one of them.
Yeah, it's just
apart from
I don't think
4 and 5.
I think there weren't as many options as far as how you get out of it, but they really like make you think outside of the box.
Yeah.
But see, number 1 was really weird. Yeah. Number 1's hardest point was at the very beginning.
Yeah.
You have a shitty like little health bar, and then you get out, and then you're in that heliport area, and you've got searchlights, you've got security cameras, you've got
Krispy's like
you've got everything there. But then that is nowhere to be found elsewhere throughout the whole game.
Yeah.
It's the difficulty on that game is the wrong way around. It's really bizarre.
It should be ratcheting up instead of ratcheting down.
You know what? My favorite part of Metal Gear Solid 3 is that's not in 5, is that when you're like unloading on people with like a light machine gun or whatever, like he starts yelling like Rambo. You don't, man. That sucks that you don't do that in 5. Like if you're unloading on people in like a walker or like D-walker or whatever, he should totally be like screaming.
See, the thing is, number 5 will be remembered. It will have that stigma of having the whole cut content thing behind it. We're not going to get into that because we've all talked about it. But this one is a very good standalone game by itself. I mean, even like my girlfriend, who's not even big on the series, she was into this one because it's easy. You can watch it and it's the origin story. So I mean, it should make sense. And it's the less complicated of all of them without a doubt.
Hyde kick me?
And also, Brad has given me a calorie mate block, which I have never ever
We've all
tested
had to
before.
do it.
Eat some.
I'm going to try that in just a minute. But no, I'm thoroughly enjoying my playthrough of this game, and I'm probably going to play through number 2 on the European Extreme equivalent afterwards too. Just seriously, like playing these games on where you get game over on alert, it really changes everything.
It could be a little frustrating though.
Surprisingly, I haven't been that frustrated.
Well, one of the things by not having an alert that is advantageous is that one of the worst parts of Metal Gear Solid 3 specifically is the alert modes last, like when it was in danger or whatever and you're waiting for it to clear, it takes forever.
The caution session is like 3 minutes long.
You'd be hiding in grass for like
just waiting.
Fucking waiting forever. And then you get spotted and you'd be like, fucking kill me. And you go hide for another 5 minutes.
My experience with the end fight is still incredible. Like every time I play it, I always try something different and
chase after him with the shotgun.
I have done that before actually. But no, this time I actually got him with the cigarettes.
What?
Yeah. I creep up behind him and I hold him up 3 times. I get my camo out of him. And then like there's a little cigarettes that got like a gas in it that you can puff and it will take a whole lot of damage off him. I didn't know that with the Fury, if you use the knife, it takes like a quarter of his health straight away. It's really ridiculously strong.
There's so many.
That's why he goes, my suit is ripped and stuff like that. It's just insane.
You should have just used the time skip on
I thought about shooting him when you first see him.
Yeah.
I thought about doing that, but I like the end fight though. I like the end fight.
Cool. Good game.
All right, real quick, Krispy.
Yeah.
I gotta know. My inquiring mind wants to know. How are you liking Until Dawn?
I'm surprised how into it I actually am.
Yes.
Like, it is good.
It's
like,
rad.
I completed 5 chapters. I'm just about to start chapter 6.
How many
so like shit
12?
like only shit has only just like started like hitting the fan. Let me think.
I'm playing through that too, actually.
One of them is dead.
Oh, can I ask who? Because the thing is, in this game, it's not spoilers. Like,
oh yeah, it's fucking Mr. Robot.
Josh.
Josh.
Oh, man, already.
Yeah.
huh?
Oh, dude, I did not like
In
him.
the-
I did not like Josh at all.
In the Saw Trap?
Huh?
In the
yeah,
Saw
in the Saw Trap.
Yeah.
It was him and one of the
Ashley.
girls, Ashley. Yeah. And they were like, make a choice, and I'm just like, well, this isn't that hard. Like,
But that guy, you know, if you watched
thought about,
Mr.
like,
Robot as me, you would have thought different.
his character in the
He
game
would've
though
killed Ashley?
is like I don't know if it's just the guy's face, like if he always looks like that,
No,
but
he
like
looks
he
weirder in real
looks
life.
like he's getting ready to like snap and murder everybody.
Yeah, he always
Like,
does.
So I was just like, I'm gonna nip this situation in the bud and just.
Did your selection not pan out how you wanted to? Because I actually wanted to, like, it's actually my girlfriend playing at the time. I've not completed it yet. We're actually, every weekend we rent it from a Redbox and we just play through it what we want to play. And it got to that point.
Yeah.
And it said Ashley or Josh, and she decided she wanted to save Josh, but I swear, like, she hit the button to save him, and it ended up killing him. I don't know if that was like an intended thing, like, you want to
no,
do that?
mine-
Well, fuck you.
Mine did exactly what I wanted it to. Although I did notice there is an option where you can be like
you can do
you
nothing.
can say to Ashley, you can be like, "Don't worry, Ashley, I'm gonna save you," like blah blah blah, and then they give you the choice of which lever you want to pull. So I was thinking, like, is there any kind of fucked up consequences for being like, "Don't worry, Ashley, I'm gonna get you out of this," and then fucking like murder her with the saw and like save your buddy?
Now,
Like,
here's the thing about this game, and it's funny you bring that up because like looking back on it, I feel like there could be reasons, there could be points in the game where that might happen.
Right.
The problem is I feel like this game was a really like exciting experience for me all the way to the end, but I feel like the more you talk about it with other people, the more it might start to like break the illusion.
Yeah.
Because
But like any choice-based game,
there
like
are going
this.
to be points where you think you're making a choice, but the choice was always
It
going
was
to pan out the
gonna-
same way anyway.
I mean, the same could be said about Telltale games or Life is Strange.
I don't think that
or
should be.
David
I don't think
Cage
that should be
games.
used against it
Yeah.
either because
the only thing, I haven't completed, I don't know what chapter you're up to. I think I'm on 10.
you're almost
yeah,
at the
I
end.
finished 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not sure what the story is with the doctor or anything.
It's been long enough now
Wait,
that like
are you
two
on
people
chapter
have
5?
spoiled the same thing for me.
Are you on chapter 5 or are you
I
at 5
finished
nights?
5. I'm on 6.
I can't remember
Okay.
what one's what.
Because I thought it was counting backwards. It starts out with like 12 hours until dawn, 11 hours till
Right,
dawn.
right.
Just as people start
Yeah,
dying.
but all the achievements are like you finished
okay.
chapter.
My fucking
5.
girlfriend killed,
Yeah.
like, every time she plays it, she killed a person in the first 5 minutes she fucking played it. I'm like, give me that fucking controller.
Isn't it great to know that like
But that was excellent.
everyone can survive or everyone can die? I mean, like you had like
Dude, I don't know. Like,
See-
I've obviously already passed that threshold. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know what you'd have to do to get to.
I mean,
wherever-
fucking
there,
hate
there's a
Emily.
lot of
It seems like a lot of these choices, like there are set piece moments that take a lot of choices into consideration. So like I had the one part with Hayden Panettiere,
Yeah.
where she's running through the house from the slasher.
Yeah.
I completely aced that.
Yeah.
Like
I did too.
everything was perfect on that one. I hadn't upset any of the animals, so none of them gave away my position when I was hiding. I went down in the basement with Josh earlier, and like she had picked up the baseball bat and put it in like this exact location. That ended up
What?
being like super useful. Where like it's
See, none
like,
of that- none
there's
of-
the baseball bat, and you just like pick it up and like beat the guy with it and run away.
That
like,
did not happen on my
Yeah,
See, the thing is, I
like,
feel like the
everything kind of fell into place where I was able to get through that encounter perfectly, but there were enough stops along the way where it's like there was enough times where it was like, do you want to make a run for it? Do you want to keep hiding?
Yeah.
And like I had to do that like 3
there's a lot of
times,
factors
like,
though. You did the part
Yeah.
with the bear trap.
Oh,
Bear trap?
Yes.
I saw that. I saw you
Oh,
doing
that was
that.
fucked up.
Dude,
yeah.
I cut my fingers off.
yeah, so did I.
And
No,
when you
mine,
do that,
mine he tried to like fucking.
but it broke.
Yeah,
I
he
had
tried to
to.
use the machete, and I kept doing it, and I completely broke the machete trying to get his fingers. out
All
of
I
the
know
trap.
is I used that machete later on in the game at a key point. You're not going to have that. I don't know what's going to happen.
That's crazy.
Now, here's the thing.
So there's a lot of little things like
everybody
that.
focuses on the aspect of everybody can live, everybody can die. And honestly, I think that's the far less interesting thing about this game.
It's cool to know that,
I know
though.
it's cool to know that, but like to me, the interesting thing about the game is how the story in between those moments where people die changes.
Yeah.
Because there are certain characters who I think are going to live or die. Like, well, everyone can live or die. Everyone can live, everyone can die. But there are
certain characters that
if someone's going to die, there might be certain moments where if it's going to happen, it's going to happen at this moment. Does that make sense?
There's like gates.
I
for
could be
these-
wrong.
See, is it possible? Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to actually kill off one of the people. We fucking hate her.
Oh, I know who.
Yeah.
Is it a she?
Emily.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Which one's Emily?
The bitch.
The really stuck up
They're
one.
all kinda...
But
None of the. I don't like any of the characters. So I don't know.
But see,
like,
the
who-
more
I'm
time
trying
I
to get
spend
her
with
to
them, the more they grow.
No,
on me.
Ashley and the dude with the glasses, like they're okay.
Chris.
Yeah, the really like the douchey guy and girl who ran off to the cabins, who he ended up getting his hand in the bear track.
I
Like-
think they're great characters.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
no,
too.
like I was kind of like really annoyed with them at first, but like when shit started hitting the fan, I like watching these characters like deal with situations like is really interesting, and it gives them more depth than I expected.
You spend more
Like,
time with these characters than you do in an average like teen slasher horror movie.
Yeah, so you
And-
kind of like identify with each of the different tropes. They're not just like these boiled down like personality types. Like they're actually kind of become like developed characters.
I'm also really enjoying playing it in chunks too, versus sitting down in one
Honestly,
big
I
sitting.
played it in 2 sittings and I loved it.
we should move on though.
yeah.
But all I wanted to
the
point
little
out was
in
that
between segments, like I didn't know that was in the game, and that shit is like that's like the freakiest.
it's cool.
shit for me.
cool.
Like,
Peter
I would
Stormare.
love to.
Do you know it's not pronounced Stormare?
Did anybody pick
That's
the
not-
fucking scarecrow versus the clown?
Yes.
No.
Does the look of the killer change?
Wait,
I chose
I
the
think,
clown.
I think
Everybody chose the clown because the
seems-
picture they show you, the clown is horrifying.
No, I think I picked the scarecrow.
Does he still look like? Oh, I guess this is hard
Yeah,
to.
No,
he still,
there
he
is-
still looks like he did in the E3 trailer.
You're just
there's a
dictating
part-
stuff in the room.
Oh.
No, that's not completely true though.
Oh,
Because there's been a part where we've come into some stuff where
picked the
is related to what we picked.
Oh.
In which case, we've seen
Yeah.
scarecrow related imagery.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I figured the killer would have changed appearance based, like his mask would have.
You know,
looked
I've
like
definitely seen
Scarecrow.
like cockroaches and stuff after choosing cockroaches.
Yeah.
Freak me out.
Dude.
Yeah, this isn't just
Yeah, I
limited
picked-
to the doctor sessions.
I picked snakes, so like I
I
think
really-
there's gonna
I-
be a part where like a snake. Like,
I really
I'm not
wish
looking
somebody
forward
would
to it.
take. It may not be. I wonder if it's too late to do this, but I wonder because I know the ending of your game ended up being super.
No, that didn't happen.
So I feel like they should take like my ending and play it right after or right before Brad's ending and like compare them in one video.
What
'Cause
happened
It is
was
amazing.
so stupid, though.
It is amazing.
They didn't
It
give
is
you
amazing.
enough information to to you what's really
I
happening.
figured it out.
So what this game reminded me of is
Me and Malia were watching you play that, and we were both kind of like rolling our eyes. Like it seemed like you fucking read a FAQ or some shit.
I did not do that.
I know, but that's what it seemed like. It was super frustrating.
Well, I'm sorry that I frustrated you.
just like following.
You know,
the
part
logic
Just
of
had
of,
like a boy. It was
certain-
kind of boring. A little
My
bit towards
ending?
the end. I mean, it was just like.
My ending.
I mean, not just your ending. It was like, well, I'm definitely not going to investigate that or whatever. When if you did, like the shit that happened is crazy. But I mean, you know
But I
what I mean?
got
Like he's playing like the smart horror
I know,
person.
but like that's the bad thing about the being able to relate to the character so much better than your average horror film. I got to a point where I was like, I want them all to survive. I even got to a point where I was like, all right, Emily's kind of a bitch, but you know what? I don't think I hate her that much that I want her to fucking die. Like it's like you have no attachment to slasher film kids because you only spend 2 hours with them, so it's just like
I think
don't give a
Emily's
shit.
the most realistic character in that realistic character in that goddamn game.
And you know, as you spend more time with her, you start to realize that.
the reason we want to kill off Emily on our playthrough is simply because we want to see that horror movie play out like a horror movie, which
Yeah.
people would fucking die.
Sure, but
Is
like at the
she
same time, like
is she like the 4.0 grade point average girl?
Yeah, they're all fucking
Yeah.
smart ass one. Yeah.
And you know, I also I like in hindsight, like I would have loved to see more fucking gory deaths in my game, but like it was also fun as hell to like try and have them avoid those moments, and like I felt it was super satisfying. Like I basically got through the entire game with only one
It's
person
probably
died.
the only game I can think of where this whole make your choice thing and people who live or die and everyone can live or everyone can die. It's exactly what they were. I guess they were supposed to do with Heavy Rain, and if I remember right, anyone at the time could be the killer in Heavy Rain, but it obviously never ended up being that way.
It was always the same person. I think.
Yeah, I was kind of let down by that, but
Yeah, no, I mean honestly, like it gets thrown around a lot, but like, I feel like Until Dawn successfully pulled off a lot of the things that David
wish
Cage has been trying to do for years.
I wish Life is Strange was more like Until
I'm
Dawn.
still not entirely convinced that Josh isn't the killer. I just think maybe it was like a really
Dude, keep
long
keep playing, and we're gonna talk about it. I mean, maybe off the podcast, but this is one of those games I just like talking about.
Okay.
Keep playing. I'm excited to see how your game pans out. Anyways, we need to move on. I think it's time for community, right? Are there any other games, Chris? Do you have anything else that you played that you wanted to talk about, or
Nothing that I want to talk about.
all right? Anybody else? No.
No.
All right. Well, let's
Mario
do.
Maker continues to be rad.
Oh, you
fuck.
did the
You haven't talked about Mario
community
Maker.
No,
levels.
but I mean I don't want to go into it. All I want to say is that I was probably gonna save it for my 4-player minute. So let's just move on.
Okay. Well, let's do our news topics real quick. Brad, what?
How about maybe don't start with me?
Jack?
Yeah,
I've
you can
got
start
a
with me. You
news
can start with
topic.
me.
I've got a
know
news
you
topic.
do.
That will be System Shock 1 is now available on GOG and probably Steam in the next week
So
or so.
this is by the same guys that are doing that Turok thing, right?
It's been released by them, Night
Yeah.
Dive Studios. It's essentially System Shock 1 with all the mods that make it playable today. That doesn't mean it's going to play like a fucking dream. It's still very, very,
Right.
very dated. But for those curious, you can now buy it officially, yeah. And I know I'm able to easily play those kind of games. I don't know why. I've playing them ever since a kid, so I can play those old games and remember that they're old and enjoy them still. And that is still a fucking good game. The amount of dread in that an atmosphere in that game is crazy still.
I had actually never seen even a screenshot of the original System Shock until today.
It's old.
Yeah, it's old. I mean, it's built off the same engine that did all the Ultima games and shit like that. I mean, it's a product of its time, but it was far ahead of its time when it came out, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, this came out like less than a year after Doom, and yet the amount of like control you had on your movement and all the RPG elements and stuff like that was crazy. Yeah.
Cool.
But no, so
Is it available now?
yeah, it's available right now. I think it's like $7.99 or something crazy like that. It's not terribly overpriced, but I don't know. Don't go into it expecting something as accessible as System Shock 2. Definitely not.
I still want to finish System Shock 2.
You should. The
I-
second half of System Shock 2 isn't as good as the first half.
I just got
but it's still fun good.
fucking angry at that situation I was having, and it literally, by the time I got it all fixed, it had been like 6 weeks since I had played it. So,
No, Falsk is definitely right. The original System Shock is more of a survival horror game, for sure.
well, I like survival horror. Speaking of survival horror, my news topic, maybe not survival, I don't fucking know. So, Allison Road, which was the indie developed tech demo looking thing that looked like basically a straight up recreation of PT, but kind of an extension of it.
Yeah.
Which successfully got me to fucking yell out loud. So like it looked pretty cool. Of course, it still opens old wounds because Silent Hills, but it looks promising.
Can always count on those pig fuckers to make some good horror games.
It looked cool. Like, I was excited about it, but it looks like the studio that's working on it, called Lilith Studios, has turned to Kickstarter, and they have launched a Kickstarter for Allison Road. Now, my first instinct was where's my wallet? I'm gonna fucking donate to this immediately. But I have still yet to make a decision on it. I feel I'm kind of on the fence right now about Kickstarters. There's been some weird shit with some Kickstarters lately, and it doesn't look like it's gonna have any problem getting funded so far. But like what I'm unsure about is what are they actually going to make this into? Because it looks like because PT was so contained, it was so claustrophobic and small. Like and that tech demo they showed kind of seemed like it's the same way, and it didn't really.
I kind of feel that PT was better as a standalone product as what it was.
Yeah, and it looks to me like what they're trying to do is take the atmosphere of PT, inject a story into it, which is obviously not going to be Silent Hill related at all. It's going to be like a story about a house and something wrong with the house, or whatever. And they're going to inject some more narrative into it, expand it, make it a bigger house, and I guess you're going to go deeper into the house and figure out the mysteries of what's happening.
You must go deeper.
It sounds cool, and it's not. It sounds like something I would want to play, but man, it's. I don't know, man. I just don't know how I feel about it. I'm so on the fence, especially after the whole unsung story thing, which kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Okay, sorry, a dumb question about Kickstarter. What happens if you fund a project and it never ceases to be?
They don't take your money.
They do not.
Well, no. If it doesn't get funded, they don't
No,
take
you're
your
saying
money.
if it doesn't get
So
the game
say-
doesn't get made.
So if they
Oh,
want, if they
oh.
want 500,000, and I pledge whatever I want to pledge, and after so many days it doesn't reach that 500,000, I don't get billed.
Nobody gets charged until it reaches its goal.
Now, if
But
he reaches that 500,000, I get charged the rest of it, and then we don't hear from him again.
Then you're
Then-
fucked.
That has happened.
That is the
So I
debate.
actually heard of a court case where they actually they charged the guy for theft essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting to
Fraud,
that
yeah.
point. Like, but there's also like other situations. Like this is kind of loosely tied into it, and I'm sure Brad will bring it up later. But the whole thing with Unsung Story, where like the project itself changes dramatically after being funded to the point where it doesn't even.
It's not like what
it
you
almost
wanted to
doesn't even
show.
resemble what was promised. Like, and they talk about it like, this is a good thing. We're adding all these things, but they're adding things that people.
spin it.
Yeah, but they're adding all these things that people didn't want. Like they're adding and changing
To
things
justify it, yeah.
They're adding and changing things that are going to displease and change the product from what the people were initially paying for.
Right.
And that's what scares me about it. But I'll probably end up funding it.
This
to
is
be honest.
kind of related news, real quick, but Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
They announced a separate Kickstarter, wasn't it, for PS4 version?
Oh,
really?
A separate Kickstarter?
Sorry, for PC version, I guess it would be.
Is it a separate Kickstarter entirely,
One verification, but I'm pretty sure they wanted. Yeah, it's like an extra.
or is it a stretch goal? I feel like that would be a stretch
If
goal.
it's, but either way, I know there's an additional goal to be had via either a separate Kickstarter or an extension goal on the one I already had for a PC version, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Well, nothing's more embarrassing than all the stuff that happened surrounding Red Ash and Mighty Number 9. They couldn't launch, so they said instead we're gonna do a demo. And then they delayed the demo. And,
Oh my God! All right.
and by the way, everybody is just shitting on everything that gets released about that game. It's scary. It's scary, but
Kickstarter is scary.
I have a news topic.
Okay.
I wonder what he chose. My news topic is that I'm just waiting for Chris Davis to put it up there so he reminds me of what it is. You know what? I was thinking we have no, I think my news topic was the Pikmin 4 thing. And that's because I don't want people to I wanted to mention it last week. And we forgot to mention it. And I think one of the reasons we forgot to mention it is because it just slipped out there.
Yeah.
It was actually...
What a weird way to announce a game.
It wasn't even an announcement. It was just Miyamoto in like an interview mentioned...
It's almost done.
Pikmin 4 is coming in. It's like 80% done.
It's like just throwing it out there.
Yeah, just throwing it out there. It not only is that kind of cool and exciting. I mean, like I really like Pikmin 3, but it's sort of like signifies maybe like how crazy things are at Nintendo, like are at with Nintendo right now. Now they kind of don't have.
They're
I mean,
just, like in the scramble.
they finally announced a new president who's like kind of an older gentleman.
he's only
who's
supposed
been
to be
with the
there
company
for-
for a long time.
He's only supposed to do it for a year, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's just probably like interim or whatever, or not interim, but temporary.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, yeah. I feel like maybe they don't have a structure for these announcements. It's actually might symbolic of or signifying kind of how desperate Nintendo is to sort of keep their head above water in terms of like their public image right now, because you notice how over like the past few years all their announcements haven't been like these big epic trailers like we used to see. They've been just sort of like really straightforward press releases or like tech demos, like, oh, here's some of the tech we're working on. And that's what you do because people are saying, where are the games? Where are the games? Where are the games? Where are the games? And they're not releasing the games, so they got to go, we're not ready. Here's a tech demo. Instead of having like, I don't think they're ever going to get back to that moment, like when they showed off that Twilight Princess trailer and it was like this crazy epic thing, and it really bums me out. This new boss, though, I mean, that's not really the news topic, is sort of more like business minded. He's sort of from the business side, and I'm wondering if because of that, like, honestly, I'm not really questioning it at this point. I think this new Zelda game is going to be cross-gen.
Yeah.
with whatever Nintendo is working
The
on.
NX.
I mean, just because that worked so well. I mean, Twilight Princess is the best-selling Zelda game of all time. And I think a lot of it had to do with it having all this hype and then going into and switching over to it, the launch of a new system. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, that's my news topic. I just wanted to bring up Pikmin 4 because it was just sort of like farted out there, and then people stopped talking about it.
Farted into the wind.
But that's a pretty exciting Nintendo game.
Let's face it, they haven't got much. So
I was thinking that maybe this is related to news topic. I know Krispy needs to mention his, or Jack. Or Krispy. And I think we should like have a delay watch kind of at the start of our news segments each week from this point on to the rest of the year, or for the next month or so, because I feel like we've been like games are just constantly getting delayed, and every week we're gonna have a new one, and maybe we could predict like what's gonna get delayed next. But Hitman just got delayed today.
Thank God, honestly.
Star Fox got delayed.
Hitman being delayed, it's a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, sure. They say it's going to launch with more content. Maybe they'll keep delaying it until it's no longer an early access game.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Star Fox got delayed. Several things are getting
And what's the other
delayed.
game you think might get delayed based upon a recently released video?
I mean, I don't think that's the reason it's going to get delayed. But
Sure.
I think Tomb Raider might get delayed. It might be like an early spring game or whatever.
I would actually be okay with
Or
that.
late winter.
Fallout 4 all for the rest of the year.
You know,
Fallout 4 is possible.
No, don't get delayed. I'm not saying Fallout 4 is going to get delayed. I'm saying there's going to be nothing in its way.
everything needs to get out of its way.
Persona got officially delayed as well.
Dude, I'm sorry. I've been saying that since that was fucking...
Everybody was saying that, Nick.
Really? Because I kept getting shit when I was saying that it's going to get delayed. People
That's
were like...
because Atlas came out and said, nope, it's still coming in 2015. They did that like a couple
And
weeks
Atlas
ago.
can kiss my ass.
Wait, so didn't
because
they
there is
delay
there was
Hitman
never
till
any
March?
chance of that happening.
Didn't they delay Hitman to March next year? Like the same time as Uncharted?
Yeah, it's March.
I mean,
They're saying
everything
it's
gets
March.
delayed till February and March, and then that stuff starts getting delayed as well. So don't worry about that.
Krispy, what's your news topic? Can I help you hide?
Oh, not much. Just a little something. You guys know Rocket League, right?
Racist League?
Yeah, from the
Racist.
developers of
The
Nosgoth.
racists. Well, apparently,
you've got to be shitting me.
Rocket League developer Psyonix has mentioned that several Hollywood studios have approached them about the possibility of making a Rocket League movie and or television series.
Freddie
And
Prinze
they are
Jr.
also in talks with toy manufacturers on...
What? They're
Toy lines.
just remote control cars.
Dude, I know.
Yeah, but this one will have
I
Rocket
know.
League on
Do
it.
you want a Rocket League remote control car?
Dude, you
That comes
don't
with a soccer
understand.
ball?
My roommate Campbell is obsessed with Rocket League, and he saw something on Kickstarter the other day that was essentially like remote control cars that you can play soccer with, and he's like, "We have to get this."
But it has to have a boost so you can fly
can't,
up
yeah,
together.
this isn't gonna be anything like the game. This is stupid.
I
This
can't
isn't
either.
the
That's
real world.
almost as stupid as Minecraft getting a Telltale game.
Dude. This is
Actually,
crazy.
I'm sorry. That is more stupid
Rocket
than that.
League has swept the nation.
So it's like, I can't say that's like the most surprising thing I've heard, though, in all honesty.
I found out a couple weeks ago that the developer of Rocket League is the developer of Nosgoth. And it kills me inside to know that like this company that is making Nosgoth, which is probably not super successful, is just like now has infinite money. It just I'm not saying I wanted the studio that made Nosgoth to die, but like what it guarantees is that they can keep it up and running.
They've made something completely different from Nosgoth.
Oh my god! Well,
Like
great.
I'm pretty sure now that they've seen like, oh hey, that Rocket League thing worked out, they're just gonna
So do you,
chase
do you,
that,
do you
right?
all have anything against Rocket League or something?
I fucking love Rocket League.
Well, I love
League is
Rocket League.
cool, yeah.
I fucking
we- I
love
think we-
Rocket
we
League.
all have a
I
problem.
think it's
No
just
one
it's
dislikes Rocket
ridiculous.
League.
But for as simple as it is, it's ridiculous. Like,
Fair play to 'em.
Did you watch the
how
honest
fucking,
trailers
like,
of Rocket League?
crazy it is?
I mean,
Honest,
did you watch-
I
No.
rolled my eyes to the back of my head when they said they were making a Need for Speed movie, and now Rocket League is getting a movie and a TV show.
Yeah, like there's nothing like.
Oh my god!
I guess it's because I'm thinking I'm not the only one sitting there playing Rocket League, looking at this like giant, like futuristic city in the skybox, and thinking like, what is that? Like, and so it's like, let's make a movie about this world.
that officially would make you weird. All right,
Wonder if
we
the-
need to move on to the
wonder if
next
the
segment,
racism
but
would
I would
translate
actually like
to the
to. I would like to take this opportunity to ask Chris Davis to come in here. I think I'm gonna let him take over from him because I'm gonna roll out so I can get ready for Soma after the podcast is over. But while he's coming in here, before we do that, we have some community questions from Patreon this week. Are you guys ready? I'm just gonna kind of rattle them off.
Let's do
here.
it.
Wait, I thought you were going to leave and then
Well, yeah,
Chris Davis was going to come.
It's going to be a
He doesn't
seamless
trust
transition.
Chris-
Can Chris Davis get in here and pull it up on his phone fast enough? I'll just start reading the questions, and he
Sure.
can take over.
Sure.
So I hope he's listening because he needs to come in here. Our first question comes from Nathan. He says, if you were a donut, what kind of donut would you be?
I'd be a donut hole.
All right, good question. Moving on to the next one. I'm just kidding. Anyone else have an answer? Donut?
I'd be a
Nothing.
bear claw.
You know what? There's too many jokes to be made if I was to say
Yeah.
glazed donut. So I'm just not.
Cream
gonna-
filled?
Cream, Bavarian cream-filled
A
donut.
little glazed and confused.
Oh God!
What?
This is what you have to
Get
look
out.
forward to.
3-person podcast.
Terrible puns.
Hi, you take Nick's spot.
I mean, he's practically already done it. Chris, do you have the questions pulled up?
I'm pulling it up.
Okay.
I just want to say that for fucking years we were like, the dogs, they gotta go. They're gonna ruin the podcast. Look at this dog.
He's
he's
kicked
just-
me like 8 times.
Dude, that's
He's
what I
just-
was saying.
I mean, look at this chill ass dog. I'm just saying. Also, fuck Manty. Right, Hi? Give us.
That's fucked up. Any other responses to the incredibly disgusting donut
no.
question?
I think
I'd be a fucking sausage kolache.
That's not a donut.
Whatever you get it at the.
Is that even a donut?
You get it at the
A
donut shop.
sausage and, yeah, in Texas.
Really? Is that Texas?
Dude, I've never seen a kolache before I moved here.
Really?
I never even heard of a kolache before I moved here.
What?
Why?
I remember driving around Austin the first year I lived here, and I keep seeing I'm like, is it say kolache? Kolache? How do you pronounce that?
Kolache?
And then people are like, oh, it's a kolache. And
Is that
it's,
at all
it's
related to my
essentially a
colon?
hot dog.
We got kolaches like every day when we went to PAX. We were at PAX. Oh, that was PAX South.
That was in Texas.
Oh shit.
Damn it.
Oh shit. Okay.
What do you eat? Crullers up north?
Our
or
next
some
question
shit?
comes from Michael. He says, "What Marvel character do you think deserves a solo video game?"
Hawkeye. Moving
Wait,
on.
really?
Yes, dude.
All these games
Anything,
have bows,
like
though.
Hawkeye, anything
Year of the Bow.
solo. Like if someone can do any sort of solo, not comic book media experience about Hawkeye and capture like the magic that Matt Fraction's run has created for that character, I would throw all of my money at it.
But he has such a boring skill for a video game.
Are you kidding me? It's the year of the bow, man.
But that's what I'm saying. We've shot bows in plenty of games.
and
Dude, I
Win was shooting a bow not fucking fun.
I don't
But what
even
I'm
care,
saying
man.
is, like, when you put Spider-Man in a game and do it well, it's crazy because no other game is Spider-Man. You know, swinging around the
Spider-Man
city
2 was fucking
rad.
I mean, maybe
Shooting
as
a
a video
bow?
game, you have a point because
What about
part of-
Daredevil?
Okay, I was gonna say Daredevil purely
Why
because
Daredevil?
He's blind.
I think a really
got
cool.
eagle-
So what's that game gonna look like?
Hey,
Eagle Vision from Assassin's Creed.
Or like that one
a
game.
really creative developer could take Daredevil, I think, and come up with a really cool mechanic built around the
Daredevil
idea of
would
him
be a
being
cool-
blind.
There's that indie horror game.
Daredevil would be like a cool VR experience.
No, I feel
But,
like Daredevil.
just playing.
I feel like Daredevil would be a really
You
cool
don't even
game.
have to turn it on.
I feel like Daredevil would be really cool with like some kind of really just like out of the box like art style, just to kind of depict how he sees the world, and like do something really cool with that, and have it like indicate to you, like have you gauge like where enemies are in in relation to where you as the player are,
Sure.
based on some
Why
kind
does
of
it have
weird
to be
feedback.
Marvel characters?
So,
Why does that
so-
be complicated? Why not Iceman?
Why not a
I
four,
want to play a game where I have an ice bridge. How fucking cool would that be?
Why not like a 4 or 5 player co-op game with Guardians of the Galaxy?
Sure, I'll be the raccoon. With the rocket.
Why? That sounds pretty cool, actually. I'm the only one because I don't know anything about comics.
Star
but-
Lord, come on!
Star-Lord would be boring. He just shoot things.
But the soundtrack, man, the soundtrack
Soundtrack
would
would
be,
be
so
great.
good.
Dude, I don't care if he said Marvel. I still think there needs to be a Booster Gold game. There needs to be a Booster Gold movie,
here we go.
which apparently somebody was talking about. There might be rumblings of a Booster Gold movie coming.
Oh
No.
my god.
So
What if it's
No.
terrible though? Like you love Green Lantern, right? That
They've
movie
got
was
like
rancid.
Yeah, that movie was
23,000 more Justice League
horrifying.
characters they have to go through first.
Also,
No, they
like
don't.
the
No, they
the
don't.
DC side of film is a little iffy. So
We're not talking about film.
Yeah,
We're
we
talking-
haven't like they've done one movie in their new continuity.
You ready? All right, guys. I'm going to hand it off to
What is
Chris
that?
Davis for the remainder of the podcast. Thank you for. Well, I don't know why I'm thanking myself for being on my own podcast, but thank you, Nick, for being here.
you're welcome.
I'm going to be headed home to get set up to do Soma as soon as they wrap the show. Jack, at the very end, all you have to do is hit the stop button and save.
That's the one with the square,
Maybe
right?
Chris
with the
Davis
square.
should stop it.
And then shut the computer down and just put it in my bag. And if you could bring it to me later, that'd be great.
Lord.
Hyde is shedding right now, so yeah.
Shitting? Hi, shitting?
Shedding.
All right. I'm going to hand it off to Chris Davis for the remainder of the show. I will see you guys, if you're watching live, in about 30 minutes with
This show ain't
Soma.
gonna be live in 30 minutes.
Oh, God. I'll see you soon with Soma directly after the podcast.
See?
I'll be back.
Prince
During the
of
switch
Universe.
out, I asked for some questions in our Patreon hip chat, and I got one, a quick one. Let me just read it off.
Good evening.
What's up, Chris Davis? What's up, homie?
I am here.
Kenton says, "What game was the quickest you started and then dropped?"
What game?
Yeah, what game?
The Witcher 3.
Really?
I put like, well, yeah.
does it have
It's the
to
one that
be-
springs to mind.
Does it have to be a good game or a bad game?
No,
do you
the
think?
game you started and then just dropped.
Oh,
X-Blades.
Like
how
the
long?
quickest.
How much X-Blades have you played?
I can't believe I actually put 2 hours of my life into that game.
So that's not that quick, dude. I've done games that
Dude,
I've played
Blood
like
Bowl. I played the first like little fucking tutorial match of Blood Bowl, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense.
There are
And
games that
never-
I've played 5 minutes of and never again.
Yeah,
Yeah, most of my Steam catalog is that.
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty certain I've played ones that, maybe 15, 20 minutes of, and I never did again, but I just don't remember what they were.
So many games.
Sonny from Patreon, who's Sonny anyways, asks, latex or lambskins?
Oh,
For condoms.
I tried a lambskin once. Well, because it was just so expensive, right? And you think, well, geez, why is this so expensive?
it must be luxuriant. Was it not?
No, I mean, it was just
I've
weird.
Never used a lambs.
Huh?
I've never used a lambskin
It
condom.
kind of smelled funny.
What?
Before.
Okay.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Thanks for-
Before.
yeah, thanks.
Why are they so expensive? Also,
Are
Who
they made
thought
from-
that
are they actually
lambskin
made from
condoms would be a
lambskin?
thing?
I guess.
Like, do they actually have
Who
to
even
like,
thinks
kill a
to-
I
lamb?
prefer pig skins. Haha, topical. What are we talking about? Oh, that was the question. The couple of questions I pulled from Patreon.
Okay. I've got one that's actually right after that. I don't even know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Jeroz Avolsair. I don't know. I'm sorry.
What? Let me spell it.
Man,
You pronounce that.
Jaraz.
Jaraz? Okay. Jaraz asks. John. Which main video game character are you gay for but not homo?
Wait, what?
One more time.
Oh, like
I don't
Like
think
no
that-
homo?
I don't think
Like a
English
man
is-
crush.
man crush.
Man crush, I think is
What
Snake.
video game character
Yes.
do you have a man crush
Fucking
on?
Solid Snake, right?
that's the obvious easy one, right?
Yeah.
Man crush characters. That's a good one. I mean, I always play as like lady. I mean, my favorite game characters are usually ladies.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're
Trevor Phillips.
Oh God. Oh God, no.
wait from GTA.
Fuck no.
Wait.
That's who I was meaning.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that his last name?
Trevor Phillips. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Weird.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Garrus Vakarian.
Oh, you know what?
Garrus
That's
is
a
cool.
good point.
Garrus is your
Garrus is
bro.
really
That's a
cool.
good man crush,
Dude.
See, that's the thing. I usually always roll with ladies in my RPGs, but like it was really tough in Mass Effect not to bring Garrus along.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I mean, the combination of him and Tally on your team, they usually had pretty good dialogue. So
Tally.
yeah,
No, who did
Tally is best girl in that game.
no.
Dude,
I always roll with
Tally,
Liara.
Tally was my Mass Effect 2 boo. Like, she was
Mass
great.
Effect 2. I would bring Samara along.
Oh, I didn't like Samara.
See, Legion was another one. I wouldn't call that a man crush. It's more of a robo crush. But that was another
Legion's
non-lady
really
that
cool.
I had a really tough time not bringing along. Maybe it was Tali. Who were the ladies I would roll with in Mass Effect? See, you know what? Mass Effect and like all these other RPGs, you should just be able to bring everyone with you. You know, because why
Just
the
like
fuck
9
not?
people.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
I mean, you're not controlling them anyways.
I don't know.
All right, next question.
Well, I'm skipping a couple here because they're, they're subject matter I'm not certain I can actually discuss on here.
Wait, what are you talking about? This is the point of viewer questions. Let's hear it. Let's get.
These are porn-related questions, basically.
I want to hear them. Can we hear one of them?
Okay, fine. You know what? You fucking asked for this.
We don't have to answer. I just want to hear the question.
Sonny asks, in relation to my first question, did you see the
latex
one where Tyrion was banging Cersei and Marjorie at the same time? Weird. I'm sure Brad knows about it with him and his Asari cock knowledge. It's not really
Cock
a question.
knowledge.
Sorry. No, I don't watch a lot of parody porn. That stuff, it creeps me out. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, it kind of gives me the skivvies. I don't know. I don't...
Just cosplay porn.
I know, like, but I won't watch that stuff because it freaks me out a little bit. There's something about, like... I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But it definitely doesn't seem titillating to me. It seems the opposite.
I'm kind of more distracted by like the cheap production values of everything.
Maybe.
Like-
But I mean, it's always cheap production.
Well, but what's worse, the cheap production
No,
values
but I
or
mean,
when
it's
they
like-
actually spend a lot of money on
if
it?
they're making a parody of like a movie or a TV show that has like a really good sort of like production design to it, and they're trying to mimic that in a porn, it makes it look even worse than just like a regular porn's like standard shitty production value. You know what I mean?
I do have some Asari cock knowledge from Sci-Fi Chick sent me this really like detailed like explanation of how all the aliens in Mass Effect like do it and stuff, and like very like detailed, like it was like a book or something. It was like in PDF form. It was crazy.
Like the reproductive habits of the different Mass Effect species.
Yeah, it
I wonder
was-
how Elcor fucked.
It was intense. I don't think there were elk.
Do you think it takes like 3 years or something? They're just like really slow.
Elcor sex. Story of my sex.
It's not very hot.
My love for you is like an Elcor.
I bet there's like some Hanar tentacle porn out there.
There has to be.
Oh, there has to be. I guess.
All right, what else we got?
McLopa
McLopa.
asks, if you could have any actor or actress you want in your video game, which one would it be and which role would they play?
Oh, that's a good one.
Wait, what? One more time?
Kiefer Sutherland.
If you could have any actor, any actor or actress you want in a video game, which one would it be and which role would they play?
Oh man. Oh, rest in peace, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Oh.
Just have him play himself.
Yeah, right. Oh man.
I'd like to have Michael Ironside in a stealth game about spies and shit.
Can you imagine like
Peter
Gene?
Stormare.
Could you imagine like Gene Wilder playing fucking Andrew Ryan or somebody like that? Like a really fucked up kind of
Fucking Daniel Day-Lewis and something.
like if Andrew Ryan was more of just like a fucked up Willy Wonka kind of character.
I do like Gene. Speaking of which, I'm going on Thursday. I'm going to the Willy Wonka party at the Alamo Drafthouse.
Willy Wonka party?
Yeah.
What is that?
Farouk Assault and Mike TV are going to be there. They're old now. They're going to sign a poster.
Well, I mean, that was a film from the 70s, so.
Yeah.
But, so they're showing just the original film, not the remake,
No.
right?
God,
okay.
no.
I'm just making certain. Because, I mean,
The Alamo Drafthouse is a reputable like business.
there are people out there that like the remake.
No, they don't.
Now, I know there's about 5 of them, but they're still out there.
Man, what actor? That's a tough one. That's one
That
I
is.
would
You'd have to
really,
think on
I'd
that
really
one.
think about. But maybe like a John C. Reilly would be. I think he'd be a great video game character, right?
I'd like to put Grace Park in something.
So
but I don't
it should
know
have been more
where to put her.
specific. You should have said like what actor can you think of would be a good villain or something?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah, like mocap and everything.
Yeah. Just give me a gangs video game. How about that? Where he
Make it like a strategy
Well,
RPG.
they've
You gotta
got,
look after like the gangs and shit in different
We've
areas.
got Assassin's Creed Syndicate
Oh,
coming
shut
up.
up. Bill the Butcher in Assassin's
Yeah,
Creed.
Samuel L. Jackson was Tenpenny in San Andreas.
Man.
And he was fucking good in that too.
All right, cool.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Moving on. Equinoxinator in chat asks, "What is your favorite quote from a video game?"
Ooh.
What? These are all like
I mean,
you
these
gotta
are
think on this shit.
Blame yourself or
the one.
God.
The one I immediately gravitate to is the speech Gray Fox gives at the end of Metal Gear Solid. So I've always liked that.
Hurt me more. What?
I know the one. That's where I'm at right now on it too.
Yeah, the part where he's talking about.
Yeah, unforgettable,
No,
right?
like, great, great.
Well, if
Fucking
you're talking
unforgettable
If you're
speech.
talking about Metal
Yeah.
Gear, I still think Snake's like little intro in 4 is like really cool. Like was really
No, it is.
really good.
Yeah, it is.
Like the war has changed. Like
Yeah.
he's doing that like fucking gravelly thing with his voice.
Guys, I know it's
We're
a
not
great,
tools of
it's
the
a
government,
great
everyone else.
question, but it's a tough one because it's one
It's
you
tough
really,
for
you
off
really
the
want to
cuff,
think
but-
about. Some definitely funny stuff from games. I think. I remember I was very fond of. What was it? Blue, yellow from the original Disgaea. That's pretty good. The Prism Rangers.
Yeah.
Wait, you know what I'm talking about?
From the original Disgaea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's been years and years, but I played that when it was
Where
it was new.
Etna just immediately shoots like the blue and yellow ranger.
What was the name of the like space hero guy? Like him and his wife, and he was like a huge dick.
Oh yeah, and you get them on your team.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man, that was a good game.
I like this guy.
I was debating back and forth today if I'm gonna play Disgaea 5 because review embargo lifted, got really good reviews.
I mean, I've always been interested in playing a Disgaea game, but I just hear they're super grindy. And
Yeah, I mean reviews are saying that 5 is a good place to start, which means it's probably a good place for me to hop back in. So.
Okay.
Oh, how about Castlevania Symphony of the Night has some good quotable quotes.
They're
What does
definitely
it matter?
quotable. I don't know if they're good. But
Well, you can say anything from like the original Resident Evil or something.
That wizard's from the moon.
No.
now you get
You were almost a Jill sandwich. Yeah.
Master of Unlocking. Let's see here. If you had to eat Manti or Hyde for survival reasons, who would it be?
Manti.
Manti. He's kind of pudgy for a Jack Russell, man.
They'll keep you going for a couple of days.
I mean,
like-
I think Manti would want it that way.
Exactly. I feel like Manti would be like, sure, fine, I understand.
Like if
Hyde's
we
just
went
too
to eat
innocent.
Hyde, Manti would be like, "No, guys, don't eat me."
Manti's older, sort of, technically. It's weird how dogs work.
The meat's more tender.
But Hyde's just too... He
older-
wouldn't know what's going on.
If he's older, the meat's tougher.
It was more tender because you had more muscle.
No, because he's done more work, so the muscles built up more.
Is this from
Manti
experience
does
with
too much
dogs?
work. Both of them are
Yeah,
probably...
I used to be a dog butcher, so I know what I'm talking about.
Manti's older, but he's smaller, so they're probably gonna live about the same. I mean, I don't want to talk about when my dogs are gonna die, but I'm saying they both live about the same amount of, or never mind. Smaller dogs live longer. Anyways,
God, they do.
so even though Manti's older, he's not technically older.
Here's a pretty easy one.
Technically, he is.
What Marvel character do you think deserves a solo video game?
Wait,
We
what?
just did
We already
that.
did
We
that
just
one.
did?
Next
Oh
We
question.
did
my
that
God.
one.
You
We
were
had
in
a
the
whole
room.
big discussion.
You were in the room.
I was trying to load up Hip Chat.
And now DC wants to do a Booster Gold Blue Beetle movie, and I'm psyched.
Well, I mean, I've pretty much run out of questions here other than
Wait.
what is your favorite energy drink and flavor of Doritos?
Spicy nacho Doritos
Spicy nacho.
and coffee.
Wait. Energy drink? Oh, coffee. As far as energy drink goes, I like a good NOS, I guess, and Dorito. You know, that's just mood dependent. I say Cool Ranch traditionally, but I actually like the ones in the purple bag. They don't really have those anymore where I am, but they were like kind of sweet and spicy at the same time.
I kind of like those 5-hour energies. Like to
5-hour
drink in
energies
those.
are fucking.
Yeah, but that's an energy
that's-
Sure
drink.
is, though.
Yeah. Well, it's a drink that gives you energy. It's just not a very big drink.
Hey,
That's just an issue of proportion at that point. I've only bought one can of NOS in my entire life, and it was to get a multiplayer character for Assassin's Creed Revelations.
you motherfucker.
What the fuck?
Hey, unrelated, comics related.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and sometimes conversation that pops up that I don't really understand sort of enters my brain just because I don't really know what they're talking about. But I'm going to relay something to you, and you tell me if it's accurate. They were talking about The Flash. I don't watch The Flash. I watched like 5 minutes of it once. And there's a character named Adam. The Adam?
There's the Atom. Yes.
Okay.
There's
Well,
an
not
Adam.
ADAM. Adam.
Right. ADAM?
No, not ADAM.
Atom.
Atom.
Like the part.
Because you just said the name of a character that I don't know, but it reminded me of what I just heard on this podcast. And they said, I have no idea what this means, that Adam is basically just Blue Beetle. I remember them saying that on the podcast last week. I have no idea who that is. And what I'm asking you is, does that make sense?
No.
Okay.
No.
In
what?
terms of the way that character is?
Like. Oh well, you know they might if they're saying that Ray Palmer, the way he's portrayed in the show, is very similar to what Ted Kord, who was the second Blue Beetles, like what his personality is like. That I can see.
Okay.
Like he actually is, but Ted Kord isn't Blue Beetle anymore, and Ray Palmer in the show isn't really that. I mean, he's kind of like, but not like a dead ringer for like the It doesn't matter. Anyway.
Okay. I'm just glad I was able to transfer something that made no sense to me. You jogged my memory, and I was able to transfer that to you.
Yeah.
Do with it what you will.
Yeah. That makes sense. I never thought of it that way.
All right, continue.
I mean, that's
Are we
it.
done?
That's all I got.
Oh, so what are we doing on the podcast now?
Well,
Like, what are we skipping?
we can't
we gonna do 4-player
community,
minute?
so no chatter of the week.
Okay.
So
Let's
We can do Chatter of the Week live in chat right now. If you want to be Chatter of the Week, just list your top 5 games of all time, and we're going to pit you against the next person who
First
types
two
in
people.
the first 2 people to
Go.
type in your top 5 games of all time. You will fight to the death, and we will vote. This is a live Chatter for the Week. Do it
Thunderdome.
real quick right now.
we will judge you.
Thunder.
We will judge you. The first person up for Chatter for the Week is going to be, drumroll please. You got to do all 5 in the same chat.
Yeah, you gotta do all 5. You can't just do one.
If you break it up, we're not going to be able to read it.
Nope, can't do that.
It's going to be.
No.
Okay. People are slow. See, people are
Ed,
put
you don't
on
count.
the spot.
Wow.
World of Warcraft? Is that what he means?
He just means all the expansions. And
Beck,
vanilla.
no.
No. All right, so WoW versus SWAT 4. Go.
SWAT.
SWAT 4. All right.
Gamer Beck
We
wins.
will have somebody, a legit person, here in a second. Is
Hopefully.
there anything related to the community? Oh, I'll say this. Community night happened last. That's when my capture card crapped out. So the part of community night was successful. I played Choice Chamber on the feed. I should have talked about it on the podcast, but it's actually a pretty cool game.
Choice Chamber?
It's sort of like a side-scrolling platforming game where people in chat can like. There's like these voting periods of like, what weapon do you want him to use? The bow, the hammer, the sword, and then you choose whatever you get whatever they say.
Toast points.
All right, here we go. Our first chatter for the week is Toast Points. His number 5 game is Boob. It's cut off. Boob something. Number 4, Metal Gear Solid 3. Number 3, Dragon Warrior 7.
7 and then PSO 1 and 2. Fantasy Star Online 2. And
Stop
then 1.
spamming chat. We're trying to read.
Stop typing.
He's going up against Kenton. Toast. Just post yours in chat again. Kenton. Number 5, Legend of Legaia. That's an interesting choice. Number 4, Legend of Dragoon. That's a bad choice. Number 3, Satellite Rain. Come on. You're just trying.
That's way too
You've
early.
not even finished
Street
that
Fighter
game.
4.
Number
to
2,
rig
Street
that.
Fighter 4.
Number 1, Curse of Monkey
Island.
Island.
Curse of Monkey Island. Curse is the first one, right?
Yeah.
And he's going up against Toast Points. Post it again, please. Number
there.
5 is Boob Wars. I don't know what that is.
But it sounds awesome.
Number 4 is Metal Gear Solid 3. Number 3 is Dragon Warrior 7. Number 2 is PSO 1.
Oh, okay. I had it backwards.
And number 1 is PSO 2. Wait, PSO 2? That's the one that...
It's not even out over here.
Well, yeah, I don't think it'll ever be.
So
That's an interesting choice. You've been playing a lot of PSO 2? You know, I was going to give it to Toast because of Boob Wars, but...
What is Boob Wars? Post a trailer in chat.
Yeah, post the trailer.
not that I can actually.
So Toast Points against... Who was the other person?
Kenton.
Yeah.
Kenton,
Those
who had
lists.
Satellite Rain.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I don't even remember.
I'm gonna go with Kenton just because while I doubt Satellite Rain is one of his favorite games of all time, it is a lovely game and I'm glad he's playing it and I'm glad he really likes it. I'll choose.
You know, that's a really good point you make, Brad. I'm going to go with Toast Points because the only game from this whole exercise I can remember is Boob Wars.
Yep.
So,
What is Boob Wars?
Well, evidently it's something that we can
It's so
not
taboo.
post in chat.
So taboo, they can't even post it.
Yes.
oh man, I'll just have to Google it on my phone.
I have to go with Toast Points as well because it seems like because Kenton chose Satellite Rain, he was trying to rig it.
Yeah.
What? No, he's been...
He was
Maybe he's really
was
He's
Violent
really
your
into
vote.
that game. He's really into that game.
Why
And
do you
come
always
on.
assume the worst
Hey,
in people?
Boob-
Because they
PSO 1 and PSO 2 as number 1 and 2? Come on.
Boob Wars can't be any more
but he had
taboo
Metal Gear
than
Solid 3 on his list.
rinse and repeat.
Oh yeah, if you type Boob Wars into the video search, the first video that comes up is mangagamer.com, Ultimate Boob Wars, big breasts versus flat chests.
Well, who wins? Always.
This is not an MXC episode
the
or
eternal
something?
struggle.
Oh god, and it takes me to a site that definitely looks like it wants to give me a virus. What is this?
What?
What is this?
Get off the site, Krispy.
Enter.
And mute
Please
the speaker.
enter your birth date.
All right, Kenton, congratulations. You are a chatter for the week. Everyone go by Satellite Rain.
I was born in 1964.
Now let's wrap things up with the 4-player minute.
Brad, what's the 4-player minute?
The 4-player minute is the time of the week where we all go around the table. We don't have a table anymore, but that's what we used to say. And we list off our...
Oh
thank
my
you
god! Boob Wars.
our thank you for the week, our fuck you for the week. That's a penis.
Yeah,
Shouldn't
covered in
boobs,
blood.
Shouldn't boobs be fighting... That's a penis. Shouldn't boobs be fighting boobs?
This is what happens when Nick is
Our
here.
thank you for the week,
Why?
our fuck you for the week, our sweat, and our hype. I'm going to start things off. My fuck you for the week goes to Konami, right? Because maybe they're getting out of AAA games, maybe they're not. We don't really know. But man, get on message, please. What is going on? But you know what? At the same time, I'm a little excited for the future. If they are going to keep making Metal Gear games, I'm at this point, I am content with Kojima being done with Metal Gear. And I'm really fucking curious. It's such a weird series. Where in the fuck would someone else go with Metal Gear? Because none of those games are like any of the previous ones.
There was a thing saying that they were hiring for people
Yeah.
on Project New Metal Gear.
Yeah. I mean, they're not hiding it. But like, what the fuck
Just
would
think,
it
like,
be?
in like a couple of years, you could actually be playing Metal Gear while you're in the podcast on your phones.
Are,
That'd be fucking
are
cool.
they,
I
are they,
thought we already had Metal Gear Touch.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Are they just going to try to make another open world Far Cry type game, like from a Western studio? It'd have to be, right? They have no like internal Japanese talent left. Like Konami has no one. So
I will say
it's
that
weird.
Metal Gear Go would be a pretty fucking cool game, I think.
Well, yeah, but I mean, sure, absolutely, but that's not Square Enix.
Yeah, I know.
My hype is to play more Undertale. That game seems like it might end up being pretty special, if not a little twee. but I'm excited. My thank you for the week goes to all of the community that submitted levels for Mario Maker. I really enjoyed the levels that I played. I was actually really surprised how many good levels there were from the levels that y'all submitted. And just with just a week of working on the game, like there was some really good stuff in there that could be like legit Mario levels. And I was surprised. I wasn't expecting that. I've been playing kind of the top rated levels, and I wasn't expecting kind of so many people to actually be good at it too. It's just kind of a bummer that it's just kind of a bummer that the ones that are already popular are going to kind of stay popular because they're on the list that's up at the top. You know what I mean? So I have a feeling there's going to be some great levels that aren't going to rise to the top just because they'll never get noticed because there's so many of them. And my sweat for the week goes to Unsung Story. It was that Kickstarter game, successfully kickstarted. It was the Yasumi Matsuno strategy RPG that was being developed by Playdeck. Playdeck kind of had some financial troubles. They laid some people off. Now, Unsung Story looks like it's going to launch as sort of just like this bare bones PvP thing, and maybe sort of the success of that will determine kind of where the rest of that project goes. I'm really starting to worry. I'm really worried. I want, if this thing's going to fall apart, I just want Yasumi Matsuno to kind of get as far away from it as he can and start working on something else because I don't want, if it's not going to happen or if it's going to be, something that I didn't want it to be, then I just want him to get far away from it as fast as he can. Supposedly, there's still a single-player campaign that's coming out eventually, with his story and scenarios, but I'm worried about it.
I don't think you really have to worry that much with the formula that they're proposing, because it worked right just fine for Banner Saga.
I mean, maybe.
But that being said, they don't have any fucking.
You don't know how successful Banner Saga was, and no one talked about that multiplayer component. Like, most people didn't even know that existed. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, as long as they're putting out something.
We'll see. Yeah. Who wants to go next? Hype, sweat, fuck, thank, fuck.
Thank fuck.
If you don't have one prepared, I'll go.
Go for it, Krispy.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I'm gonna go fuck, thank, hype, sweat. Okay. My fuck you this week goes to me. I don't want to get into why. I've been playing something. If you've seen me on PlayStation the last couple days, you probably know what's up.
Oh, God, is it DC Universe?
I don't want to get into it right
Just
now.
say it. Just say the name.
It's not quite that bad, but I don't want to get into it right now.
There's some shameful
Just
shit.
check my past activity on
Oh,
PlayStation.
is it Final Fantasy 14?
No.
You wish it was Final Fantasy 14?
No.
It's lame ass shit.
Yeah, kinda.
Just say
it kinda is.
Destiny? Have you been playing Destiny?
No.
Oh my
no,
God.
tell me no.
Why? You're wasting your time. You could be discovering cool new games.
You guys!
Like Undertale.
The Taken King content's actually pretty good.
Oh my
But
What? No.
yeah,
How you liking your Nolan North?
dude, oh my God, it is unbelievable. Like, like, he does a pretty good job as Ghost, but, like, listening to his voice acting kind of just highlights how fucking dog shit Peter Dinklage, like, his performance.
Whatever, he has an Emmy now.
Yeah, and he, like, I'm sure he doesn't even get it. He's not that great of an actor. He's just got an amazing character.
Man, I watched a comparison video between Nolan North and Peter Dinklage, just various different lines throughout Destiny. It doesn't help that the writing is kind of crap at times.
It's so boring and lame.
It's like no writing, pretty much.
Hello, hype.
Are we done?
Go for it.
Didn't want to get into it.
DC Universe Online.
All right, my thank you goes to Jonathan Blow, I guess, for finally announcing a release date on The Witness, which is
that
going
game's
to be
looking sexy.
January 26th, just in time for some fucking PAX South to hit. Right? Wasn't January 26th when PAX South
PAX
was
South's still
last
happening. Hopefully it's bigger this year, next year.
It's in the same location.
year? Yeah.
I think-
I just hope more shit.
Tickets
That
went on
location was
sale.
huge. They just didn't have a lot there.
Tickets went on sale, I think it was Saturday,
Oh, really?
and I don't think they've sold out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Okay, my hype this week is for No Man's Sky. And my sweat is for I don't know how much longer I can keep this No Man's Sky bit going.
Why are you hyped for No Man's Sky? Is there something coming? Something exciting that you...
Because of space. You know what I'm hyped for? Metal Gear Online. Watch that video, guys. Watch that video.
And I watched that video, and I mean, it looks good, but I know it's not going to be fucking supported. They're not going to release anything.
The last
for it.
Metal Gear Online for number 4 I thought was pretty great.
What are you talking about? Metal Gear sounding like crazy.
They're not going to release any new fucking maps or anything.
They already said
really
they've
substantial.
already said they're not doing any more story DLC.
All they're doing is fucking just microtransacting the shit out of it.
Oh, I can't wait for the Ava and the boss outfits.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be like
God.
$3 a piece.
Oh my! Because I've been playing as a lady in Metal Gear Solid 5, and I got
Where-
the sneaking suit for the lady looks so rad, and I have the mask, and she just looks like a fucking ninja. The only thing she doesn't have is a super hand, and that's kind of a bummer. I won't be able to rocket punch as her, but it's badass when I'm playing as her, and I'm blasting Maneater while I'm killing fools. Oh, it's beautiful. Who was talking about what?
I mean, Jack, you want to go?
Sure, yeah. Honestly, I haven't got nothing prepared, but fuck it. My thank you goes to all of you guys for having me over tonight. Really appreciate it.
No problem.
My fuck you actually goes to Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't really have time to really speak about it, but I'm playing it for the first time properly.
It takes some time getting into it. It controls really strange.
You call it strange because from where I'm from, it's called shit. Seriously, the horse that doesn't control strange, Brad. That's fucking crippled.
Because it's not a fucking motorcycle, okay? It's a horse.
That's no excuse.
How often do you really get a
But
good
besides,
horse in a
the
game,
horse isn't
though?
actually what my fuck you goes to. My fuck you actually goes to just how stressful the actual game is.
Why it's stressful?
I mean, in a good way, I suppose. But my God, my fucking
How many
R1 finger,
Colossuses have you beaten?
I'm on the 4th one, I think now.
Okay.
So I got the grips of how to do it, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just a really exhausting game.
You finish that game, and you come to me when you're done with it, and you tell me how you feel about that game.
Fair enough. And I've also been playing a bit of Eco as well.
Eco's a great game as
Yeah,
well.
I'm actually surprised. I mean, I played a little bit on the feed when the collection came out, but I don't have a... Well, my hype, I guess, would be Soma, because I'm really excited on starting that. I don't have anything else, but I do have a shameful secret. And when I picked up the Shadow of the Colossus Eco Collection, I also picked up from my girlfriend the Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5 remix shit.
Oh, God.
And God fucking help me, it looked good. Like, she was playing it, I was like, I want to play it.
It looks nice.
I want to play it. Although everyone gives shit about Metal Gear long fucking cutscenes and intro and shit, my God, she put over 3 hours on her game clock where she saves it, said over 3 hours, and then like the logo came up.
Is
And
she
she's
playing
like,
Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2?
this was 2. She was
well,
doing.
of course, 2 has the
But-
slowest, longest
Jesus Christ.
fuck intro. And
Like 3 to 4 hours, and she's like, oh, that's the intro done. I'm like,
yeah,
shut the fuck
the
up.
Roxas part. Ugh.
Well, I mean, I look at that, and you know, the really big difference there is that, pardon the pun, but the Metal Gear cutscenes have fucking substance to them.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
something that you're
And-
watching something happen.
Not
yeah.
in 5.
And
No.
well, yeah, because
But no, what sold me on why is my shameful secret? Is because she was playing a bit of the first one, and she was in like the Alice in Wonderland kind of stage, and
Yeah.
people are walking around, they're like cards and shit. I thought it was cool, like the
No,
worlds
you're
and
right.
shit.
Yeah.
So
but
it
back
got
when that
me
series
interested.
had level design.
It got me interested in actually seeing what other worlds, even if I'm not overly familiar with what those franchises are, just the worlds would be interesting.
Yeah, no, that's why I like the first game, and only the first game.
But no, apart from that, that's about it. Everything is friggin' dandy.
Okay.
Mr. Chris Davis.
Well, my hype this week, I'm putting it towards Fallout 4. I was bored at work the other day, and I decided to pull up the Bethesda press conference. But I watched like the Giant Bomb live commentary, which I'd never seen them do any content before. So I watched that, and it got me really hyped for just this new game, because
Which game?
God,
Sorry.
Fallout 4.
Oh yeah.
Because goddamn, man, there's just gonna be so much awesome shit to expect from that. That's a 200-hour game, maybe.
It's interesting. You got hyped watching Giant Bomb do commentary for that, because usually they're kind of like low key, like they don't get excited about new game announcements very much, but it's hard not to get excited about Fallout 4.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've all like put a lot of, or not maybe a lot, but you've all played the Fallout Shelter shit game.
I have
Yeah.
not played it.
Yeah.
I wonder if there'd be a cool way to like bring those characters over, because obviously like you name them and you give them equipment and shit like that. Be a cool way to import them.
That's one of my things that I have a problem with Fallout Shelter. It's a good game, but there's no in-game scenario.
There's nothing to do with it.
I mean, there's nothing to do with it past a certain point. And
Yeah, it's not a game. It's a toy. Like, it's just like an ant farm. You kind of like
Was it they said it's that
poke at it a
it's
little
that
bit. and-
popping the zit resource thing.
Yeah.
Every couple of minutes.
leveling him up and getting him shit.
But I'm just wondering because like some people like putting their names and stuff on some of these characters and giving them their own equipment and things like that. That'd be pretty cool if they can bring that over to the full game. Like you just see them as NPCs and shit.
Oh, it'd be amazing if you load up the game and you find the vault you built in Fallout Shelter
Sure.
somewhere in the world.
Well, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be
I
Wouldn't
wouldn't
make
put
any
it past.
sense. It wouldn't make any sense, Chris Davis. Think about Fallout lore. There's only like 20 or 30 of those vaults in the whole fucking country.
This guy.
Why would there be two within
I think
like
the
5
lore
miles?
said there was like around 130, 140.
Really? Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm
I thought it
bummed
was
that
a lot less
XCOM
than
2
that.
isn't coming out in November anymore. I said I'm bummed that XCOM 2 got delayed. I wasn't bummed originally because all this crazy stuff was still coming out, but the more I think about it, the more I realize that I probably wanted XCOM 2 more than all this other stuff.
I can agree with that because, I mean, XCOM is just, it was a great game. And fucking time suck. My sweat goes towards Metal Gear Online because after beating Metal Gear Solid 5 and experiencing just what they're doing with the FOB and just their plans for microtransactions, I feel like this is just going to be abandoned like that. Like there's no hope here. So, my thank you this week, I would have to put it towards Square Enix for delaying Hitman because, fuck me, that was going to come out a week after Just Cause.
Yep.
And I'll still be working on fucking Fallout, maybe even Tomb Raider,
And, well,
and at least another game.
the exciting thing is the footage that we did see of Hitman actually looked fucking cool.
It did.
No, it does look
So
pretty good.
you know, if they can delay it and do whatever they
More
need to do,
content at launch?
hell
That
yeah.
sounds good.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Hitman.
Yeah. And my fuck you this week goes to Konami because they can't be trusted and they're just fuck that CEO. Just fuck that guy. So
Actually, I'm changing.
They have a CEO? I thought it was just the Yakuza.
Oh,
God, it certainly feels like it, doesn't it?
I'm changing my sweat to this calorie meat that Brad has given me.
It's not gross. Everyone thinks it's going to be gross.
It's
I don't know,
not.
we
There's a
kinda-
reason why Snake says, I want some more.
Well, it's
Pretty tasty.
It's very crumbly.
It's probably as I expected it to be.
So
All right, well, that's going to do it. What does Nick usually say after the 4-player minute? I don't know, and I don't give a fuck. Y'all have a great night, and if you're watching live, stick around. Nick is going to be playing a few hours of Soma. So have a good night. Bye.
good night.
Say goodbye.
Bye.